B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
For over 105 years, Athol Murray College of Notre Dame in Wilcox has shaped leaders who have changed the world. From its humble prairie beginnings, the school has produced over 215 NHL players, 9 Order of Canada recipients, and countless leaders in the area of business, science, the arts, and citizenship. Grit, heart, and determination are the Hounds' legacy. Limited spaces are still available for the 2025-26 school year. To learn more and to apply, please visit notredame.ca today.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Sports Cage. Thanks for making time, whether you're listening on the radio, 620 CKRM, any of the streams. Maybe you're watching through the YouTube channel, sportscage.com. It is for Regina Motor Products, like the big voice just said. We have, and I know I've said this before, jam-packed show. Rob Vanstone, historian from the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is going to be in studio here. We're going to talk momentarily. Dale Derkatch, general manager of the Regina Pats, will join us in hour one. That's our WHL preview as we look at the Regina Pats. Hour number 2, Western Pizza guest hotline will be buzzing. Mason Nyhus, former Regina resident, now assistant head coach with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. We'll talk about his career and also the game coming up Friday night, undefeated Rams in Saskatoon to take on the Huskies. Our Friday Night Lights weekly look at the high school football loop. We'll talk to head coach of the Lindbergh squad today there. Ryan Swïtzer from Swift Current will join us. We'll tee up the Swift Current Broncos season. Hour 3, Mike McCullough, former Saskatchewan Roughrider, 2-time Grey Cup champ, will be with us. SJHL preview with Benny Walchuk and the Junior Football Report. So like I said, Western Pizza guest hotline will be a buzz, and we do have winning throughout the next 3 hours. We are giving away tickets again to the show in Saskatoon March 1st, live with Big Rec and Econoline Crush. 2 tickets, they're all yours, 936-6262, the Prairie Land Rentals text line. We just want to know your favorite Big Rec, Econoline Crush, or live song throughout the show, and Colson will award those. Prairie Land Rentals is 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner, and you can rent anything you need from power tools, generators, gardening tools, skid steers. You can visit them. Like I said, joining us in studio today for the first hour, nice to have him, Rob Vanstone making the trek in today. Bye week for you, for the Riders in the CFL. Is the week before bye week really busy for you, or is it this week?
I make it probably busier than it should be because there's all sorts of little statistical projects that I have a lot more time to dig into when there isn't a game on the horizon. So this week I'm trying to find every rider drive in history that's been over 5 minutes in duration, 80 yards in length, or 12 plays. And I'm back to 1971.
What's the most recent one? Have you gone recent?
There was the coolest one I found, the last 109-yard drive that in a Rough Rider game, the quarterback was Trevor Harris. Ottawa was here September of 2018, and Trevor led Ottawa on an 11-play, 109-yard drive, culminating in a 4-yard touchdown pass to future Denver Bronco Deontay Spencer.
Wow!
So it's kind of neat to find these little factoids, and I'm kind of living in fear of will have a 109-yard drive, and I won't be able to say, well, that's the first one since, or this is the blank in Rider history. So I want to especially have command of 109-yard drives before next week. With my golf game, I've mastered 6-yard drives, but football-wise, I'm focusing on 109.
If you're out there and you have any questions for the great Rob Vanstone, 936-6262, maybe you could try and stump him, which I think is next to impossible. Here's a question for me. I can start the party. When was the last time the Riders were 10-3?
Last time they were 10-3 was 1967. The team was 11-2 in 1970 at this juncture, but as far as 10-3, 1967.
1960. Well, 10 years before I was even on the planet.
Hold on, and 1969.
Okay. So. Last week, Montreal comes in. Any interesting stats in that game? Anything that jumped out in the Montreal game?
My goodness, I really like special teams tackles this year. I think one of the really cool stories in the Roughriders is Nick Wiebe. When you consider that he was, came back for a game last year, missed the rest of his year, and he had 3 special teams tackles. He's got the team high 15 after 2014 was a virtual washout. The layup is Trevor Harris, 200 career touchdown passes.
Yeah.
The only other quarterback to throw his 200th career touchdown pass in a Saskatchewan uniform was, and this won't be much of a challenge,
Darian?
Ron Lancaster.
Lancaster.
That was my guess.
And at the
Who, Lancaster?
Yeah.
It was late September 472, and 200 at that point was a league record for touchdown passes. And Ronnie was just fattening his league record. I think it was like 188 when he broke it.
You got a question?
I was going to say, didn't Arash say the other stat from that game is Phil Potts' game is the second best all time for a receiver for Montreal?
Yeah, Hal Patterson was in the 330s in 1956.
Which is the best all time. So nice to get second on the list there.
Yeah, Echeverry to Patterson. I wish I don't like being my age, but there's times I'd like to be maybe a decade older or 15 years older, so I could say, yeah, I saw Glenn Dobbs. Yeah, I saw Sam Echeverry to Hal Patterson. I saw Jackie Parker in his prime. I saw the Rocket. I saw Barney Shinkaruk in his prime. Things like that.
Yeah, Gordie Howe Bowl. Gordie Howe Bowl, 1995, my only touchdown.
When's the 30-year anniversary coming up? Should I bring a cake?
A stubby. A 2-liter of what was that awful drink that we used to drink? The Philpott thing at 238, and you don't see a lot of big games like that. What's the Rider? Sorry to put you on the spot here. I could have teed some of this up. Rider record for receiving yards in a game.
260 by Chris DeFrance on August 5th, 1983 against Edmonton. 9 catches, including an 88-yard touchdown in which he lost his helmet after being cranked by a couple of Edmonton players and proceeded the rest of the way. And it's interesting you should mention that record because September 17th of 2010, 15 years ago today, Andy Fantuz came close. He got 255. In overtime against Calgary, Riders went 43-37.
Overtime stats would count?
They do count overtime stats, and which skews things every now and then. But
that might have been the game Darian was talking about.
Darian threw for like 500 yards that day.
They picked on Milt?
I think
so.
It was an amazing game.
Oh, geez.
500 yards. Just
what year was that?
When you look at the games Darian had that year, there was the July 1st game against Montreal when he threw 5 touchdowns, a career high, and then later that year got Calgary for 500 yards, a career high.
What a wealth of this is. We could just go.
It's all in the cue cards.
On and on and on. Yeah, Fantuz. He was that has to be the game that Darian was talking about.
You said 2010.
Yeah,
September 17th, 2010, because Chris Jones liked to do man-on-man or one-on-one, and they put, I think he said Milton, the safety, on Fantuz, and so Darian's like, all right.
And the next time Calgary was here was a month later. Stampeders won 34-26. And who scored his first CFL touchdown that day? Corey Mace on a 60-yard fumble return.
Coach Mace.
Yeah.
The boys are going. The boys are going up north. We're going to be, like I said, in hour 3. we're going to talk to Mike McCullough, because if I remember correctly, Mike talks about the bye week and how they used to go northern Saskatchewan fishing trip. And I think you mentioned there's nothing that comes to mind bye weeks for you, but
I just think of special teams tackles, as you can see, and drive lengths.
This, when did they start with the 3 bye weeks?
When was that? Was that 2 or 3 years ago? I think it went from like 1 to 3 in a hurry.
Do you have a preference?
When you consider the grueling nature of this game, and it's a long season, I think it's good to have 3 recuperative periods during the season, or just periods in which you can unwind, especially the way they're distributed this year. It's almost like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, the way the Roughriders have it. Sometimes it gets really skewed, and you have 2 bye weeks in the final 3 weeks of the season. It's tough with an odd number of teams, but I like the 3 of it. It's just tough to make that compatible with the Grey Cup without the Grey Cup being played on Christmas Day. And so when you're trying to get a Grey Cup in, especially if it's an outdoor Grey Cup, such as is the case this year in Winnipeg, it's tough with 3 bye weeks, and you're trying to compress the season as much as you can, and that's why we've got early June starts now.
I want to ask you this, and you can answer it or you can plead the fifth. If you could do the schedule, when would you start it? When would you end it?
I like it where it is now.
Really?
I really do. Yeah, it's you get to Labor Day and suddenly you're in the stretch run. I think it's I remember when the regular season started. Well, 1975 was the year I first got season tickets, and the season opener that year, I think regular season opener that year was July 23rd. And it's like, okay, the snow's been gone for like 3 months, and the regular season is just starting now, and then you're playing, playoff games on frozen grass fields well into November. The first Grey Cup ever played in Calgary was in 75. They had that game in December, right? So when you consider just maximizing the season, the time of the year where the weather is conducive to playing football, I think we're using more of the time of year when we can take advantage of it. And I look around town and I see ball diamonds empty in July and August, and kind of wonder, why is that? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the same when I look back and it's June 25th and it's the Riders preseason opener in 1976. Well, what are we doing for most of June? What about May? Why not get it going?
Absolutely. I'm always of the worry that November, mid-November, and especially we could see it in Winnipeg this year. Really, you could see it Winnipeg, Edmonton, Regina, I guess Calgary as well. Like you can run in like that. Was it 2013, the day before?
Oh,
minus whatever
it was unbelievable.
Everything
on November 24th was beautiful.
Yeah,
but the thing I like about it too, I think it gives us a longer football season period, because the CFL starts in June and the NFL is done in February now. So you've got a larger portion of the year where you've got football to be interested in, to follow really closely. And I like that. It just, the more football, the better. And you just, same amount, but there's just a longer period where you can, during the year, where you can really say there's regular season football or playoff football. Speaking
of football, if you didn't listen yesterday, we had a great engagement on the text line asking people about their high school names that they remember, high school football names. This is, I want to pose that to you. Being from Saskatoon, graduating high school in 95, there was a number of up there that went on to the Hilltops and the Huskies. And I remember hearing down in Regina, the Neil Hughes, the
Trojans.
Kennedy Nikiasen.
More Tom Trojans.
Yeah. When you think of the high school, maybe throughout the eras, what are the names that jump out? Because you were probably covering a lot of those.
I think of Rob Vanstone. Grade 9 intramural basketball at Campbell Collegiate. I tried one shot that year. It was a layup, and it hit the bottom of the rim going up, and then I was benched. So 0 for 1, grade 9.
They kept you?
They didn't expel me for some reason. I remember 1988, La Boldis had a running back named Byron Davy Duke, who had 8 touchdowns in one game. unbelievable. John Ryan in the city final in '99 for Sheldon, pretty much he'd score a touchdown, then convert his own touchdown. He'd punt. He did everything. And John Ryan was just an absolute marvel at Sheldon. Speaking of Sheldon, Colton Solomon. He was an amazing football player, amazing basketball player. And he went out for the City High School Track and Field Championships one year and just wasn't with a track club. They just brought him out because he could run. And so he lined up for the 100-yard dash, not in a sprinter's stance, wearing basketball sneakers. And he just set off a sonic boom.
Really?
It was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So those are a few names that come to mind, but
that's the story of the 3 hours right there. We have so many guests coming up, but the Solomon character in his sneakers.
You know, I mean, she's going into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame very shortly, but Janine Polischuk when she went on to start for the U of R Cougars, and when she was with Sheldon. No, I didn't go to Sheldon. I went to Campbell. I keep mentioning Sheldon athletes, but
Mark Mueller went to Sheldon.
Mark went to Sheldon as well, and Steve Mazurek went to Sheldon. He's also going into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. But just what Janine was able to do and just continue doing, like it was, and I remember too, like everybody knew Janine was going to win everything. Yet she was so gracious with all the other people, and when she was on the podium with the silver and bronze medal winners, you know, she was just she made them feel like they'd won gold as well. I just remember the way she handled herself in addition to what she did, so extraordinary. When I was going to Campbell, my first year, they had Sharon Douglas went on to play for the national women's team. It was something to see. It was absolutely something to see. She was so dominant on that 77-78 Campbell Tartan's team, coached by Kelly Lovering.
Jeez, what a memory. One thing today, the Riders signed 2025 Global Draft selection Jesse Mirko. 15th overall, they took him in the Global Draft from Australia. Surprise, surprise. Played in Vanderbilt, so he knows his way around Nashville.
Is that where Vanderbilt is?
Yeah. I went to a Jersey Mike. My wife and I actually took an Uber because we loved Jersey Mike so much when we were in the States, our first trip to Nashville. And we got stuck in this traffic we couldn't figure out. It was $28 each way Uber ride, but we got the Jersey Mikes, and you could hear the stadium.
Wow.
But it was an absolute blowout because college football in the States, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, but the stadium was right there. People were leaving. It wasn't even halftime. I think they were playing Alabama when Alabama had Saban and they were a wagon. Yeah, but Vanderbilt's right there. So we have 3 punters now. Am I crazy, or does that seem interesting?
I don't know what the plan is there. I mean, Joe Couch has had a really nice year. You know, James Evans is here. I know they're high on him. Now there's 3 Australian punters. I'm not sure what the blueprint is there. I would be misleading anyone to even hazard a guess.
Do you ever lobby for a trip to go and do a story in Australia on why the punters are?
The Riders have told me you can go anywhere you want as long as you don't return. So if I want to go to Melbourne, I could probably be there by supper time tomorrow. But
and you got to go on your dime.
You're free, but no per diems either. So
you can go wherever. Yeah, but the Riders sign draft selection Jesse Mirko today, so I got 3 punters in the fold. Rob Vanstone is here with me. We got a busy show. We'll take a break. Still to come this hour, Dale Derkatch, general manager of the Regina Pats. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The care your family receives in hospitals, schools, and community programs comes from SEIU West members who live in your community. We're united around something simple. When working people have what they need to do their jobs well, everyone benefits. Our conditions of work are your conditions of care. For more information, visit seiuwest.ca.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 5-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
Call on Reliance.
visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At Barassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed C&H parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at Barassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. Barassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
First Nations University of Canada invites you to join their annual Smudge Walk to honor the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September 25th. The day starts with a pipe ceremony at 8 a.m. and the walk through the First Nations University of Canada and University of Regina campuses begins at 9:30. Presentations and special announcements will follow with a community lunch on campus at noon. The first 200 people attending will receive an orange Every Child Matters t-shirt. For more information, go to fnuniv.ca.
Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Roscoe's saying he needs a pen and paper when Rob Vanstone is in and all the information that you're spewing. And then Calvin said he could sit and listen to you all day.
Oh, well, thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Roscoe. I'm flattered that I was hoping that Barney would save the show here. So,
yeah, holding out hope. Colson, you were talking. You said that there was a time. I don't remember this. And then Rob, when we were in break here, you said you couldn't remember all the where CFL teams would play 2 games in 1 week. I remember seeing that like way back when.
Yeah. So when they added Ottawa, that's when I would have assumed they would go to 3 bye weeks, because mathematically with 9 teams and 18 games, you got to do something, right? So in 2017 here, in week 5, Montreal played in Ottawa Wednesday, July 19th, and then Monday, July 24th, Ottawa played in Toronto, and that both games were in week 5.
See, I could see if it was BC or like even Saskatchewan making the trek out there, staying there, rocking out 2 games in a 5-day span. But those play Montreal and Ottawa. That I took the Via once. It is literally like an hour and a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Toronto.
That's a great train ride,
isn't it? I wouldn't know why you would drive.
I've done Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal is just a.
Have you ever been to Quebec City?
I have not. Bucket list.
Yeah, I want to go there to golf. To watch a CFL game would be great if they ever get a team.
But yeah, then in 2018, they went to, because what we do now is there's 3 bye weeks where there's 3 teams on the bye, right? So we only have 3 games those weeks. And in 2018, that's when they started doing that. So I think 2017 would have been the last year with 2 bye weeks. This is just me speculating. I haven't actually done the math because that's a lot of math. But
Rob Vanstone's joining us in hour 1 here. We are giving away tickets. Don't forget, Big Rec Live and Econoline Crush, March 1st in Saskatoon, 936-6262. Also, if you got questions for Rob Vanstone, or if you got any stats that you want to throw out, maybe we can fact check them.
Don't do that. I'm worried this is being audited.
What was the question I was going to ask you? Well, something you said you don't know, but Colson, you said that there's a rumor going around social media today where they're talking about tailgating.
Yeah, I saw someone took a screenshot of their season ticket holder email, and in it, Rough Rider CEO and President Craig Reynolds says something about the team is efforting to have legal tailgating at the games next year. Now, it's a screenshot on X, so I have no way of actually confirming how real this is.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but Rob, do you know anything?
I have nothing further to add on that. I was
cool.
I was having lunch scrolling, and that's where I saw it.
Smart.
They just say, Rob, just compile the special teams tackles. Don't you dare get near anything really important.
Let's make it happen. And if they're efforting, which I love that word, by the way, good on them to maybe see. And I'm sure I definitely am missing some parts of what would go on and the legalities and the safety and all that. But we are in the minority that don't do a tailgate. So maybe we'll get there at some point. When you're an NFL fan and your team is
making me upset. Denver Broncos, the end of that game against the Colts on Sunday is still giving me symptoms.
Yeah. Who do they got this week?
We got the Chargers.
Oh.
So
good divisional battle there. I don't know if you saw this, and it was going around, and there's so much talk. Tom Brady, who's the minority owner of the Raiders, also working for Fox doing broadcasts. He was in the Las Vegas Raiders coach's booth, and they weren't trying to hide it. He was there. Chip Kelly was up there, which I forgot Chip Kelly was with the Raiders. So the conflict of interest, and I guess we could put it into if it would happen in the CFL, where, if Glenn Suter was all of a sudden minority owner of the Riders, which I know that's not going to happen and people don't fly off the handle here and all that. But then, he's with Mark Mueller in the box, and then he gets to go interview the Elks, who we play next week. And it's a real, for a league that seems to be so buttoned up in a lot of ways, doesn't it just, if you're watching the stream there, you see the picture of him. He's in a suit and tie. He's there, headset on. And then next week, because I think it's the Raiders play the Commanders, and that game is on Fox. Isn't that a weird one?
I mean, the thing is, even if he isn't in the coach's booth, people still know his affiliation with that franchise, and it's ultimately, within the jurisdiction of, say, the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, the head coach, whoever whomever he's having the pregame discussion, just not to say anything that you don't want to say. I think, it's the people who are talking to Tom Brady can ultimately dictate what he does and doesn't find out. It's ultimately, in that case, I think, to Fox's disadvantage, because maybe they wouldn't be as open as they would be with, say, Troy Aikman. And I've seen some of these sessions. I've seen Trevor Harris talking to TSN before the game, for example, and they're pretty candid, but there's also a understanding that this is strictly on the deepest of background, and there aren't any of those affiliations with other teams. So generally, as I understand it, they're pretty open, because, I mean, they're kind of, I remember when Chris Cuthbert used to do the games on, CBC and TSN, and Chris was so prepared, and people trusted him so much because they knew he wasn't going to betray them. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady isn't trustworthy, but given that situation, that structure, I think it's probably to the advantage of whatever team he's communicating with, whatever personnel, just to be careful.
And to your point, you'd
especially in the NFL, information is everything.
Yeah, the interviews would be so bland, and you would hope that they would be instructed that don't give him anything, basically don't say anything. So then that interview becomes, however long it is of just fluff.
But I go back to Vince Lombardi too, and I mean, so many people are big on what can they find out in advance, what can they infer, what have you. Vince Lombardi, when in the heyday of the Green Bay Packers, they liked to run the power sweep all the time, and everybody knew it was coming. Vince Lombardi for NFL Films even diagrammed the play with a camera rolling, and we get a seal here, and Jim Taylor or Paul Hornung goes up the alley, and everybody knew that play was coming. If you execute it properly, you're not going to stop it. And it's ultimately, incumbent upon the teams, whatever play they run, if you execute it well, it should work, regardless of whether they know what it's coming. It can perhaps help, but it's 12 on 12, and if you do your job right, none of that stuff's going to matter.
This might be a tough one. I just thought about it while we were talking about quarterbacks and attention to detail. Because to be a quarterback, you got to be smart. Doesn't matter what, if you're pro, you're playing. In high school, yeah, you can get by with the best athlete.
Like me in intramural basketball.
Like you, yeah, hitting the bottom of the rim. But
anybody can hit the top of the rim. It takes a special presence.
If you could somehow spin it so it hits it and then spins up, and then like a masse, if you're playing snooker. Quarterbacks that you have been around that are just so cerebral, put in so much time, student of the game. Are they all the same, or are there a couple that stand out?
This will surprise nobody. Trevor Harris.
Yeah.
He's just all the time. He's also good at compartmentalizing. He's a proud husband and a father of 4, and when there's family time, there's family time. But he is so meticulous about the slightest detail. And I always knew that that had to be part of the DNA when you're a quarterback. But just to get a glimpse of it up close, it really is something. The brain is always going. And hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie would draw up plays in the dirt.
And such a different time.
Different time.
The access that they have nowadays to film on the sideline, instantly, where you go back to Ronnie, you go back to the 80s, it's like, hey, grab the VHS. And then before that, it's grab the reel-to-reel and get it out. Like, they were putting in time.
They were, and there was a lot of time to be put in just getting the film together. They had to have splicers. They had to take it to be developed.
Somebody's smoking inside the room. Your lungs are burning.
It was unbelievable. Now, if you're on a road trip, they're handing iPads to players on the bus after the game. Before the plane's even in the air, they can look at every play they had or any situation. It's amazing what they can do. And I can't imagine how you would have done it 40, 50 years ago. Even videotape was a progression over the old film. Shot from a press box in stadiums that weren't very well lit with cameras that Charlie Chaplin may have used once upon a time. Right? Buster Keaton.
And then, so we went
Harold Lloyd. My dad loved Harold Lloyd.
We went from reel to reel to VHS to, I think there was a DVD in there. And then now it's just all on drives.
It's unbelievable what there is now.
What, Kate, again, maybe putting in the spot here, but quarterback aside, who's a player, offensive, defensive, that is like a quarterback and that you remember that just put in the time, his craft, what he was doing?
I remember Ken Miller invited me when I was with the Leader Post to follow the team around for an entire morning before practice and just write about what it is they do. And I went into a meeting. I went into the receivers room, and Jason Claremont. We would have absolutely, if you'd watched that meeting and you didn't know who Jason Claremont was, you would think he would have been the position coach. It was amazing. Just watching him interact in that room and just see the slightest things. And that's a receivers room that had Andy Fantuz and Weston Dressler, Rob Bagg, Chris Getzlaff. And just all very, cerebral, talented receivers in their own right. But, and Jason Claremont, his presence in that room, it just, that, as soon as you mentioned that, I just couldn't help go back to that little room at Taylor Field, just watching him do what he did. Hugh Campbell. Hugh Campbell wrote a university thesis on the art of being a receiver.
Really?
Yeah. And he was he wasn't the fastest guy, he wasn't the biggest guy, he wasn't the strongest guy, had the best hands probably in history, but he had to be a really smart player to do it without having the blazing speed. And him and Ronnie, it was like they were connected by a wire. I remember hearing stories about Ronnie and Rhett Dawson when Rhett was here, and Steve Mazurek and the receiving corps in the mid-'70s, and they would go to a coffee shop and just, there was practice and there was the formal playbook, and then they would just sit around and after practice and diagram plays on a napkin.
That is
just working as a unit. Lancaster, Mazurek, Tom Campan, Leaf Pedersen. That whole group.
That's awesome. I know we got Dale Derkatch. Okay, one more quick one for me right now, and you're around the team so much, and I heard there's a ping pong table. I don't know what else going on. Who are the competitors? Guys that are they're all competitors. They're all alpha males for the most part playing on the team, but there's always a couple of guys that they're still like they're 12 years old, hate losing.
I'm trying to remember. I was watching a what's the thing where they throw the
cornhole?
They were having a cornhole. They used to have a cornhole thing in the middle of the dressing room, and it was like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. This cornhole thing, right? I don't even clearly remember who the Rodney Clemens was one of the participants. I think it was 2023, and he was nailing every shot. Yeah, and it was just like these guys are playing professional football. They're playing sports for money, and they are so into this cornhole. Yeah. I think when you have that in your DNA, I don't think it matters what you're competing. I mean, Ronnie was. He wanted to win everything. If Ronnie was playing cards, if you were playing, handball against Ronnie at the Y, anything. I mean, he was so competitive, and I just can't imagine anybody being more competitive than him. He just every ounce of him wanted to win at whatever he was doing.
Big handball guy. That's one sport that I've seen played. Never played it. Never tried it.
I never have. Was that the one John Candy was playing in that movie while he was smoking? Handball, racquetball, squash. What was it? Was one of those.
I want to say it was a squash or racquetball, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Scene? I love the cigarette one.
Yeah, a racquetball I played, and then squash. That squash ball doesn't go anywhere, man. But you want to get a workout in. That was any kind of racket sport like that. So
a squash ball doesn't go anywhere. A basketball just somehow doesn't go through the bottom of the hoop with the kind of reliability that I was hoping for. I should have gotten a point if it at least went through the bottom.
We're going to talk some hockey with Pats legend and Pats general manager Dale Derkatch here in a bit. It is the Sports Cage. Rob Vanstone is tagging along. It's for Regina Motor Products. For right now, you can book early and save on the tire changeover. RMP early tire swap on now before October 31st. You receive $10 back or $20 back. Depends if you got rims or not. So call RMP. It's a Sports Cage. Streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Souls Harbor Rescue Mission is celebrating its 35th anniversary serving southern Saskatchewan. We'd like to extend a big thank you to all of you for helping provide real answers for real people. We've served over 3 million meals to those in need, over 200,000 hours of addictions programming have been provided, and over 150,000 nights of shelter have been given. Again, thank you. Donate now at shrmsk.com.
SEIU West members are
Stores Person,
Unit Assistant,
Finance Officer, Unit Clerk,
Recreation Coordinator,
Youth Care Worker,
Medical Laboratory Technologist,
Power Engineer, Office Administrative Assistant,
Maintenance Services Worker,
Medical Transcriptionist,
Medical Office Assistant,
File Clerk, Medical Laboratory Assistant,
Pharmacy Technician.
The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
Canada's Conservatives have put forward a bill that will unlock our nation's true potential by rewarding those who build and invest in Canada. The Canadian Sovereignty Act introduces measures such as the Canada First Reinvestment Tax Cut to eliminate capital gains tax on reinvestments in Canada, ensuring that money stays here and builds our great economy. My name is Warren Steinley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Luban, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley. So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system, or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Cage on Wednesday for Regina Motor Products. Again, all of our guests are going to join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It's Wednesday. No time to cook. Get your perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. Western Pizza, any of the Greek favorites you like souvlaki, ribs, salad, the goodness you just can't make at home. Rob Vanstone is with me for the first hour. It's always a pleasure when he comes in and just spews it. The knowledge, the stats, the memory is awesome. So Friday... I'm going to a high school football game in Austin, Westlake school that sends a lot of guys to the SEC. And I was trying to think if there's any riders. I was going to look it up, and they're playing Steele, whatever the big rival is. I said this the other day, asked him. The guy's been very accommodating, very nice. And he said, yeah, we'll get you in, and I want to document it. I just put it on social media on the Sportscage channel because have you ever been to a high school game in Texas? And
I've been to the Texas School Book Depository in Texas. That was my Dallas trip.
Yeah, like I said, the night tour is amazing there. But he said there's going to be 10 to 12,000 people.
Well, I mentioned Rhett Dawson earlier in the show, and I'm not sure. Rhett's got a teenage son who's a high school football player. If you happen to see the name Dawson on a roster in Austin, Texas, Rhett now lives in Austin. You will be watching
I'll text
rider history, rider royalty on the field again. Rhett's an awesome guy.
Let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline and talk hockey. General Manager of the Regina Pats is joining us, Dale Derkatch, on the show. We're kind of been streaming around and trying to find out the inside scoop before the start of the Western Hockey League season this weekend. It's here, Dale, General Manager. You've been busy making deals, and let's start right off the hop. The one yesterday... And I think if you remember, it was a few months ago when we were joking, and I said, oh, so you're going to make any deals with the Prince Albert Raiders? You get to bring in your boy, Dace Derkatch. Had a heck of a year last year for the Raiders. Special moment for you, but at the same time, you're trying to make this team better too, and Dace is going to help you guys.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Rob,
hi, Dale.
Barney. First off, I want to say, Rhett Dawson, you're taking us back. One of my favorite receivers. I love that guy. Awesome player with the Riders. You know what, guys, that was not a trade that I was really looking at doing at all. Even when Dace was available, I kind of took his wishes of what he said probably a year ago. He wanted to make his way on his own. So never really thought about it, thought he would end up somewhere else and get another opportunity in the league. And Brad Haroff and his coaching staff kind of nudged me the other night and said, hey, what about bringing him in? And I said, I don't know, guys. We'll have to talk to him, and see if Dace wants to do that. And after a little bit of talking, apprehensive he was, but we finally talked it over. And bottom line, we thought he'd help make our team better, not only on the ice, but in the dressing room and around the community as he, as they said on some of the social media, he bleeds blue blood. So he's a Pat, and happy to have him here.
Yeah. I think it's a great move. Watched him play last year a bunch, and could definitely help the team. And like you said, you got the backing of the coaches and the coaches nudging you there. Dale, it's great how many local guys you get. The Maddox Schultz thing aside, you're bringing in guys from Regina, from the area. I can't remember now with days. I think the number's at 6 or 7 from the area. Was that important to you to kind of get guys from the area, bring in the Manettes, players like that, or are you just trying to put on the best team?
Well, you always want the best team, but if they're local, that's always good. They have a tie to the organization from some sort. Probably watched the team growing up and dreamt about playing in the Brand Center. It's always a good thing. And, you have to look at the team is built right now. It's not really on draft picks, right? It's on a lot of trades and bringing guys in from the outside. And the way to build a team in the Western League is through the draft, and you have guys that grow up with you. They grow up from age 15, 16, 17, and this is their team. And that's what I talk to our veteran players about. This isn't Dale Derkatch's team. It's not the coach's team. It's the players' team. And they have to get to that point where they care about each other enough that they do everything, and them getting success really comes from the team getting success. They have to put their success secondary to the team. And that's when things will turn the tide here, and I think we're moving in that direction.
I think that sounds like a lot like you're blowing smoke, but that is something true, and good coaches and good locker rooms have that, because there are, and you get to that level, there are a lot of individuals. Robbie, do you got anything here?
I saw the trade today, Dale, for Marek Schlenker. Is that any relation to a National Hockey League official and former Pats defenseman, Chris Schlenker?
I did talk to the young man. I didn't ask him that. Then I looked at some reports we had again, just to make sure and double check. I did see on one of the reports made mention of his dad, former Pat. So I am going to be talking to that young man again today. I'm going to ask him. So that might just be another tie right there. It was not done based on that. It's a little bit of a need we have right now with potential. It's not for sure. Maybe a little bit of an injury to one of our goalies where, we only have 2 goalies and we need 2 when you're playing a game. So there's a little bit of insurance here, and we'll see how it goes moving forward.
Isn't there an import goalie, 6'6" kid that you're trying to hopefully figure out a way to get here?
We're working on that still. He is in Detroit's camp. It started out where the agent was kind of wanting him to go back to where he was last year, Tri-City in the USHL. Over the course of the summer, it warmed up a little more and more towards him coming here. In the last week or so, we've had some very good talks about now contract, how it would look, parents coming over, when to visit. So it's turned a little bit the other way. Again, the agent said, bottom line, he's going to let the young man make his decision. So let's cross the fingers and hope that happens.
Let me be the 14 millionth person to ask you about Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh. How challenging was it to kind of map out those 2 seasons? 2 players, 15-year-old players, 2 teams. I can't even imagine. I can't think of precedent for it. And then I can't think of precedent for it for 1 player, let alone 2. That must have been a discussion, the scale of which I can't comprehend.
Yeah, a lot has gone into, first off, the residency for Liam, which, was a 10-page document where probably 15 to 20 people were involved in getting that organized. Then we moved to, them signing and now a schedule, but we have to work with the Patsies, who have been gracious enough to work with us. Many teams wouldn't take on part-time players, let's call it that. So then we had their schedule and our schedule. And what we did was we took every game possible from September 19th, our first game of the year, all the way up to February 28th. And we put everything on the calendar game-wise, both teams, and then looked at what they can't do based on, so example, if Maddox goes to the under 17, which he has a good chance of doing that, that's 2 weeks right there we have to block off. Once we did all of that, and we left the games in March alone, there's 10 Regina Pat games in March. We didn't touch those. Those are like our buffer. but that's when the C's are going to be in the playoffs. So that's another reason why we left it alone. Within that September 19th to February 28th, there were only 36 possible games for them to play.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And now you're going to have to manage a little bit of this. Sometimes it had times where there's 3 games in 3 nights. C's, us, 4 games in 4 nights. We're going to have to manage that. And they may miss a game here or there. But remember, we do have the buffer games in March, which we may want and or need them to play.
Yeah.
The other thing I was wondering, Dale, how do you figure out with which team they're practicing? And as a season ticket holder, I'm wondering, was it part of the consideration, at least at one point, thinking, well, let's have most of their games at home to appease the people who are the Pats season ticket holders?
If we could have done that, Rob, maybe we would have. But like I said,
it just worked out perfectly.
After we took everything. There's only 36 games total. I think it's pretty well split home and away right now. But again, like I said, they're probably going to have at times during the year a fatigue, injury, just a break. So we're going to maybe take out a game or 2, and then they'll play in March, a couple of games to make up for things.
And then you got Circle K in there, and then Maddox playing for Team Saskatchewan, at the other, because he still qualifies for that. It's great. We've got 30 seconds left here, Dale, and I know we'll be talking to you a lot. Expectations are the playoffs?
That's the expectation. We've talked to the vets. We've got to take another step, and that's the next step. And it's on all of us to do our part to get there.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, we'll be talking lots, and I see you around the rink, it feels like, every day. So appreciate you taking a few minutes today, Dale, and best of luck this weekend when you fire it up.
Right on, guys. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Barney. And
Good to see you, Dale.
Right on, Rhett Dawson.
Regina Pats general manager Dale Derkatch joining us here.
Best junior hockey player ever.
Yeah, what a weapon.
Goodness,
for sure.
It was wonderful to watch him play.
Colson said we got to go to break. We're running up against it. It's the Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Regina Pats, 620 CKRM.
The Regina Thunder NFL Lottery is back, and tickets are available now. Each $20 ticket gets you the chance to win up to $500 each week of the NFL season. That's 18 chances to win. Tickets are available until October 6th, and you can still win for the weeks already played. No football knowledge needed. Proceeds support the Regina Thunder Student Athlete Scholarship Fund and team operations. Get your tickets at ReginaThunderNFLLottery.com.
Lottery license RR240660.
Is your house ready for fall, or does it still think it's living in July? Snap it out of denial with Freeze Tallman's all-weather at-home sale. From September 8th to 19th, order your windows and doors and get 15% off your entire order. Need to keep the cold out? Done. Want more light in? Easy. Tired of slamming that door from 1978? They've got you. But hurry, this sale ends September 19th. Visit FreezeTallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
620 CKRM and Harvard Media believe in being accountable to you, the listener, which is why we participate in the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. We are committed to upholding the highest standards of broadcast excellence and adhering to the codes and conduct administered by the CBSC. If you have a comment to make about our programming or a concern about something you heard on our station, contact us on our website, 620ckrm.com. or visit the CBSC's website, cbsc.ca.
Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents the Price Beat Guarantee. All right, folks, here's how the game works. Bring us any competitor's price on a brand new vehicle, and we won't just match it, we'll beat it. And if we can't, you walk away with $1,000 cash. Guaranteed. But wait, there's more. We're offering 20% over Black Book value for any trade brought in this month. The Price Beat Guarantee. Only for a limited time at Crestview in Regina.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Signing for the Riders today, they signed global punter Jesse Mirko, 6'4", 222-pound native of Australia's second-round pick in the 2025 global draft. He played his final collegiate season in Vanderbilt last year. This week's CFL games, look at Montreal at Toronto. Montreal a 6.5-point favorite there because Toronto is starting an unknown quarterback. Canadian offensive lineman Kyle Hergel worked out with the Minnesota Vikings on Tuesday. It's according to 3 Down Nation reporter John Hodge. The workout went well. Hergel is not expected to sign with the team immediately, though. Major League Baseball tonight, Game 3 of a 4-game series for the Jays in Tampa. They've won the first 2. 6 is the magic number in the AL East. They're 5 up on the Yankees. And the Sportscage poll today. Would have been great to get Rob's take on this. Sportscage.com. Who is the greatest Saskatchewan-born athlete of all time? Gordie Howe, Katrina LeMay-Doan, Haley Wickenheiser, Sandra Schmerler, or Ruben Mays? You can vote at Sportscage.com. Hour 1 is for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Mason Nyhus, high school football, Friday Night Lights, Swift Current Broncos. Lots coming up in hour 2. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Concerns about crime in Saskatchewan are growing after an armed robbery in Regina allegedly committed by 3 children ages 12 to 14. Police say the incident happened early Sunday on 5th Avenue when suspects threatened a worker with a gun and a knife. NDP Justice critic Nicole Sauer said crime has become too common and linked the problem to government failure.
Saskatchewan people deserve to feel safe in their homes and in their communities throughout the entire province.
Sauer is calling for more programs for at-risk youth, stronger policing resources, and tougher measures against gangs and drug dealers. RCMP say a series of rural thefts near Esterhazy led to the recovery of stolen property and multiple charges. The investigation began August 16th when gates were stolen from a rural property. Officers linked other thefts from homes and businesses in the area. On September 11th, a search warrant at a Langenberg residence uncovered 15 stolen metal gates, several tools, and 2 unsecured firearms. 3 adults were arrested. Police say charges include possession of property obtained by crime, break-in instruments, and firearm offenses. Water advocates want the City of Regina to speed up removing lead service connections. Patricia Elliott of the Get the Lead Out told the Executive Committee that the city should treat the issue as urgent, not just a part of road work. Regina aims to replace about 3,600 lead pipes by 2036, but has only removed a third of that so far. Health Canada says even low levels of lead can cause health problems, including lower IQ in children. The body found in a towed Tesla that was registered to a popular American singer has been identified as a 15-year-old girl.
Earlier this month, a decomposing body was found inside of an abandoned Tesla registered to singer David. His music has 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify. He's been out on a world tour performing as the LAPD has been investigating the body, which has now been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. A girl by the same name was reported missing from Riverside County in 2024. The Riverside County Sheriff says work is underway to confirm it's the same girl. Nobody has been arrested. It's unclear how the body got in that front trunk or how Rivas died. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And members of Parliament paid tribute to hockey legend Ken Dryden in the House of Commons today. MPs stood for a moment of silence to honour the late Montreal Canadiens goaltender, who also served as a member of Parliament and Liberal cabinet minister. In his remarks following the moment of silence, Prime Minister Mark Carney called Dryden a national hero and a personal idol, adding that Dryden was the reason he became a goalie. The Prime Minister also said some of his colleagues had the honour of working alongside Dryden while he served as member of Parliament for York Centre. The Conservatives' John Brassard, the Bloc Québécois' Martin Champoux, and the NDP's Leah Gazan also stood to pay tribute to Dryden. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
For over 105 years, Athol Murray College of Notre Dame in Wilcox has shaped leaders who have changed the world. From its humble prairie beginnings, the school has produced over 215 NHL players, 9 Order of Canada recipients, and countless leaders in the area of business, science, the arts, and citizenship. Grit, heart, and determination are the Hounds' legacy. Limited spaces are still available for the 2025-26 school year. To learn more and to apply, please visit notredame.ca today. Let's be honest, 5 inches might be fine for the city boys, but out here on the farm, you need something a little more impressive. Prairie 6-inch eaves troughs are built bigger to handle heavy rains, wide roofs, and serious flow. No overflowing, no messing around, just 6 solid inches of high-performance gutter. Because when the skies open up, you'll be glad you went bigger. See Prairie 6-inch eaves trough, your farm shop specialist, prairieeavestrough.ca.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCullough Street. Tonight, partly cloudy, isolated showers in the area, and a thunderstorm is possible early, a low down to 12. Tomorrow, cloudy, early drizzle is possible as well, and a high of 18. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, a low down to 11. Looking ahead to Friday, isolated showers and thunderstorms, cloudy sky, and a high of 19. Saturday, becoming sunny and a high of 24. Sunday is looking nice, mostly sunny, and a high of 26. Right now, downtown Regina, it's mostly sunny and 20 degrees.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCullough Street.
In the summertime, when the weather is fine, you've got groceries on your mind. Your favorite grocery store, Crawford's No Frills, is now open from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. for all your summer shopping needs. Check out their weekly flyer and visit nofrills.ca for all the hot deals to match the hot weather. They also now have DoorDash, so you don't...
And on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Well, welcome back to Hour 2 of the Sports Cage today. Like I said, the Western Pizza guest hotline is busy today. We got a lot to get through still in this hour. Mason Nyhus, assistant head coach of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies, is going to join us in a bit. We'll talk about his career and his new job up there. He's a Regina boy, went to Riffle, NOD style. Also, Friday Night Lights, our weekly look at high school football, is coming up. We're going to talk to the head coach of the Lemberg squad. Also, Ryan Swïtzer from Swift Current is going to join us. We'll talk about the Swift Current Broncos this year, what's expected in Speedy Creek. Western Pizza, perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, all the Greek food you like. Thanks to everyone who's been texting in, and a lot of people liking when Rob Vanstone is on. A wealth of knowledge. He rattled it off there. I said to him before he left, it's like just sitting down at bellying up to a bar, having a pint, listening to him. You're always welcome to chime in, 936-6262 on the Prairie Line Rentals text line, serving Regina and Southern Saskatchewan with your rental needs, and Husqvarna dealer as well, 600 Albert Street. It's Rider bye week, but there still is the Rough Rider Foundation 50-50 as we get set for next week's game. If you want to buy 50-50, riders5050.ca. This week's early bird prize is the Oilers road trip. Package includes 2 tickets to an Oilers game, a one-night hotel in Edmonton, or you can take $2,700 cash. Riders5050.ca. There's some interesting comments of Connor McDavid on 32 Thoughts podcast. I'm sure Maz will touch on that tomorrow too, but if you're an Oilers fan, I don't know if that made you more comfortable. Coulson maybe can grab it too for us in a bit here, but doesn't sound like he's making a decision anytime soon. Now, how is he going to go through the season playing, going into every market, especially the markets that are crazy for hockey? It's all the questions it's always going to be asked. What's the deal? When you sign in the deal, how long's the deal? Long-term deal, short-term deal. He keeps leaning on, he's got to talk to his family, which he's got a wife and a dog. I'm sure it's more the agent, and he wants to win. So yeah, there's uneasy times if you're an Edmonton Oiler fan. This week's CFL schedule, and I kind of touched on it on the Sports Ticker as well. Going to Sports Select here and pulling up the games, it threw me for a loop, and then I was like, remembered that the Argos are starting an unknown quarterback because Montreal being a 6.5 point, is that what it was? 6.5 point favorite in Toronto as well. We also got Calgary at home against BC. It'd be a solid if the Lions could pull that off. Calgary's -5.5 favorite there. Ottawa is home to Winnipeg and Chris Strevler. Now, there were a lot of people. I said it as well. Maybe Terry Wilson would have been worth a look in the last game and a half for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He played last year for him. Didn't look that bad. Strevler seems like an awesome guy, but and you're coming from Zach Collaros, but he's great at running the ball. He's a big physical guy. I think it's not a bad idea for the Bombers to make a change there. Obviously, there's media in Winnipeg talking about it as well, because Strevler was a little hot when he was asked the question yesterday.
People calling for Terry Wilson, that he should have ended the game or whatever. Does that put a chip on your shoulder, or do you just block out that noise from people?
I don't know who people in general are. I don't pay attention to that. I'm worried about doing my job. We put 2 good drives together at the end of the game. So whoever people are, that's their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. I'm going to focus on what I can do, coming in here, working my tail off every single day, and getting better.
Yeah. Kind of feel for the guy as well. But it's professional sports. It's not amateur. Might not be a bad idea. I think at some point they're going to him. Am I wrong? 936-6262. Terry Wilson. Things aren't great in Bomber camp. They've had a good run. You'll be fine out there in Winnipeg. Don't forget, Live. Yes, the band Live. If you're from the 90s, early 2000s, Throwing Copper, what an album. We got 2 tickets to give away again today. They're coming to Saskatoon, going on a tour with Big Wreck and Econoline Crush, March 1st in Saskatoon. Look on the calendar if you can make it. Why wouldn't a guy or a girl want to go? Selling the Drama, I Alone, Lightning Crashes, All Over You, Shitetown. There were a lot of good songs. Throwing Copper. So we got 2 tickets. 936-6262. What was your favorite Live song? Or maybe you're a big Wreck fan or Econoline Crush. Let us know there. Coulson's compiling. He's going to draw for those tickets later today. Let's keep the football talk going here. Big game. Regina Rams, University of Saskatchewan Huskies coming up Friday up north in Saskatoon. Rams undefeated. The Huskies let one slip away last weekend in Manitoba. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. All right, Mason Nyhus, join us. Hey, you're back in Saskatchewan, up the road, though, at the U of S. Full-time football coach, assistant head coach, and offensive coordinator. Congratulations, man. I've known you since you were really little. Obviously, I've watched everything happen for you. It's got to be the old adage or the old story. You wake up in the morning and go, I can't believe I'm getting paid to be a football coach.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm super fortunate. I love doing what I do every day, and it's easy to come to work. Obviously, it's a lot of hard work, but I enjoy it. I get to see all my best buddies every day at the office, and I get to wear my fleeces that we were talking about every day, So I got some good work attire, and but in all seriousness, I'm really enjoying it. It's great.
How bad do you want to get out there and sling it, even in practice?
Oh, I get my touches in practice for sure. I'm like, I don't even know who says it in dodgeball. White Goodman, he's like, ball me, Blazer. That's one of my go-to lines with the quarterback. So, get a little pass here and there, keep the arm live. But, yeah, no, it's always fun to sling it with the guys, so it's good.
Let's stick on your journey here because a lot of people will know it and all that. Parents are such a huge part in the journey of an athlete. There's no doubt about it. Knowing yours well, working with your father here, knowing your mom. It's one of those things where your parents, Mason, there was never a roadblock in that respect. They made it, easy for you to do all that. It was all about the hard work for you, wasn't it?
For sure. Yeah. Honestly, I say it all the time, man. I was so fortunate with my upbringing and just, going to the right situation, university and whatnot. But really the biggest thing is, man, my parents really enabled me to be able to move away from home, to go to wherever I wanted to go. And it's hard, right? Financially, support-wise, it's just everyone has a different set of circumstances, but I've been extremely fortunate. I don't think my mom definitely did not miss a single game. I think my dad missed one. He was on a work trip with Harvard, and he was checking his phone every 20 seconds, I'm sure. So even now with coaching, they're out at U of A. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'm not actually on the football field, but they're just those type of people. So I'm extremely blessed to have them in my life, and I know I was super fortunate with that.
2 years helping UBC. After your playing career. And I think a lot of people ask the question. I know I've been asked it. Why not give pro a shot? What was the thought process back then?
Yeah, 100%. So I think I got added to just timeline wise. We played the Vanier Cup, obviously lost in a heartbreaker by 6 points there. And then I got added to the negotiation list with the Riders the next day. And so I'm like, oh, sweet. Maybe I'll still play football. Cool. And then I didn't hear anything. So as a player, I didn't have an agent either. I was just kind of I was totally content with moving on with my life. My fiance is from the West Coast. I knew I was moving out to Vancouver and whatnot. But I didn't have an agent. So I didn't hear anything from the team till I want to say January 6th or 7th. And then at that point, I already accepted a full-time job in Vancouver as a teacher, and I already had a coaching job at UBC. So it happened really fast for me. With that being said, obviously I love playing football, and I grew up cheering for the Riders. There's no doubt about that. But it was just one of those things that I didn't want to prolong my life. And I knew, man, I say it all the time. I was a weird kid, man. I asked for a hockey whiteboard for Christmas one year because I like drawing drills and power play breakouts and stuff like that. I knew I wanted to be a coach. And just so happens I went into the world of football, and I knew I wanted to be a football coach for the rest of my life. Not saying going to the CFL would have hindered that by any stretch. It helps your resume and things like that. But I was already moved out to Vancouver, and I kind of had my life started. So I just kind of went that route.
Hey, Bantam AA Pat Blues are looking for some power play help. So if you've gotten any of those old plays kicking around, text them to me. No, it's what would you make any changes going through that, having such a successful collegiate career, and you could have went to play pro. Any changes that you would make, Mason, to make it easier for Canadian quarterbacks specifically to get to that next level?
It's a great question, and hopefully someone smarter than me has the answer to it. I really don't know. And don't get me wrong, I've been to the QB internships. I've done all that, and I've seen that. And these American quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League are fantastic. Not taking away anything from those guys. They sling the ball, and they do a lot of good stuff. The biggest thing is just there is, and it's nobody's fault, it really isn't, but there is a bias towards Canadians in the CFL. I have lots of friends that play in the CFL across a wide variety of teams. I know all these quarterbacks that went to the internships and stuff like that, and it is tough. As a Canadian, it's tough. Typically it's who's the Americans out there, and it's we need to get this Canadian on for our ratio purposes, right? It's not and then you do have ratio breakers, don't get me wrong. You have the Phil Potts and guys like that for sure. But in general, right, it's trying to squeak on Canadians for the ratio. And whether that's on coaches for not giving Canadians an opportunity or on Canadian talent that needs to develop more, I'm not sure. I'm not the keeper of keys on all that, but I do know there's a lot of Canadian talent, and I know there's a lot of good Canadian quarterbacks. Hopefully I'm hoping our guy has a great night here Friday against the Rams, but we have a great quarterback, and there's great quarterbacks across the country. So hopefully they get an opportunity. It's just kind of getting your foot in the door, and when you ever get an opportunity, you just got to fly through it.
Let's talk about the big game Friday. Huskies taking on the undefeated U of R Rams. You guys maybe let one slip away last weekend in Manitoba. Just second half, things kind of stalled.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I think we were up 17-0 at half there. And I honestly don't think we played a good first half. We missed a lot of stuff offensively. Our defense played great. And then the second half, they got the ball first. They went down and scored. And then we got the ball. We had one good first down, like a big play to Daniel Weave. And then I don't think we had a first down for the rest of the quarter. So you're not going to win many football games doing that. And that starts with myself, and Flory, and the coach all the way down. So we gotta get better play calls in, and hopefully the guys can execute them. But honestly, that happens. I'm not too concerned. It's not throw the baby out with the bathwater sort of situation. It's, you know what, we were fortunate enough to go to 2 Vanier Cups when I was here, and we lost games in both those seasons. So we're not too concerned.
What are you expecting from the Rams coming in?
Man, they're a good team. Like, they're well coached. I know a lot of guys over there. I have a lot of good friends on their staff, and they're well coached. You can just tell they're disciplined, and it's not like they're doing anything wild. They're not reinventing the wheel out there. They just play disciplined football. They fly around. They don't miss many tackles. So we're going to have our work cut out for us on Friday. But you know what? I believe in our guys. I think we'll have a good game plan and be able to execute on Friday.
Canadian Football League, we're seeing it parity. You never know what's going to happen week in, week out. Can West is probably leading the charge there, where it's like, I'm glad I can't bet on it, to be honest with you, because I don't know what I'd be doing. The parity in the league's awesome.
100%. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's been like that ever since I got in the league, which is fantastic. I mean, every given Friday or Saturday, you have no idea who's going to win. Like, obviously, we believe we're going to win, but from a fan perspective, you have no idea, which makes the conference fantastic. I know there's always a great debate on which USports conference is the best. People argue OUA and RSEC with Vaniers and whatnot, but I truly believe top down the Canada West is the best conference, right? In the other conferences, you have great teams, don't get me wrong, you have a few great games, but there's a lot of throw your bucket out there games and win a football game, where us, that's just not the case. So it's really fun to play in for sure.
It's going to be awesome on Friday night. The game is on CKRM2. Let's talk a little bit of flag football. Speaking of the itch, you've been keeping up to date with what's going on, because I know Lipinski's from Saskatoon. We've had him on the show. And then Lapo, when I had him on first, I was like, have you talked to Mason Nyhus and all that? Because you had such a great run with the men's national team. You must be getting the itch to play that and then following along closely.
Yeah, 100%. I've talked to Lapo a lot, honestly, throughout the process, just like talking offenses and whatnot. And I see Lipinski every day. So that's one of my guys. I love them. And they're both great dudes. And I know a few guys on the national team that I played with on last year's national team. Obviously, it didn't work out this year for me, strictly because they're in Panama and we're mid-season right now. So obviously timeline-wise, it doesn't really work. But I'm always talking to Joel how they did, and Lapo and how they did, and all that stuff. So it's been really fun to keep up with. And, right now I'm just fielding some offers in the Saskatoon flag football community. A couple offers for some bag of chips, a couple Diet Cokes here and there. We'll see who comes with the best offer. Maybe I'll be playing competitive Saskatoon or Div C. We'll see who has the best one.
Running tab at the Cactus Club. So we never say never about the national team then? Is that what I'm getting?
For sure, yeah, 100%. I still throw all the time. I still know the game really well, and whether that's playing or coaching, right? O'Connor's the quarterback right now. He's doing a great job. I know Mike from being out at UBC the last 2 years, so he does an awesome job. He's a great quarterback. So, man, I would just love being involved in any way possible, and it helps knowing those two guys as well. So we'll see what happens.
Do you keep tabs maybe a little bit on Riffle and how they're doing?
Oh, all the time. I'm a big Riffle Royal guy. We have a Riffle alum, Kyle Conte, in the receiving room, and we talk about Riffle all the time. Obviously, I played at Riffle, and one of my best friends, Kyle Borst, is the OC, and then Coach Pilon was my head coach, and obviously they have some great players at Riffle, so I'm trying to recruit some of their players too. So, I definitely am keeping tabs on them and cheering for them every game for sure.
Mason, awesome stuff. I'm glad we got a chance to connect, and we'll do it again. Big fan, man. Continued success. Have a good one Friday against the Rams. We'll see how it lands. I'm sure you guys will be playing again.
Thanks, Barney. Appreciate it, buddy.
Right on. US Huskies coach, Regina boy, Mason Nyhus. Amazing story. Gotta love it. And can he sling the football? It's a Sports Cage. We are the home of local sports in Saskatchewan. We're streaming at sportscage.com or on 620 CKRM.
Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. What if it's your year to win more? Including the luxurious Ripplinger-built $1.7 million grand prize show home and $50,000 cash. The bonus prize lets you explore the Canadian wilderness with a Toyota Land Cruiser and outdoor adventure gear. Or ignite excitement with the early bird prize, an Audi and a trip to Australia. Buy your tickets now and win more at hrfhomelottery.com.
This is Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions. Successful farmers and business owners, I have two quick questions for you. First, how are you going to get your corporate retained earnings and profits out of your operating company to fund your retirement? Secondly, how are you going to do that without paying too much income tax? If you don't know the answer to either question, call me, Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533, or go to smartinvestingsolutions.ca.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive 4-wheel steering, and liquid logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today. nicksservice.com.
Hockey is back, and what better way to kick off the season than a visit to Extreme Hockey and Sport? September is Customer Appreciation Month, where every purchase qualifies you to receive your money back. At month end, 2 lucky winners will win back their purchase. Size doesn't matter, product doesn't matter. Extreme Hockey and Sport, locally owned, community-oriented, customer-focused, and don't forget the price match guarantee. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Employee pricing is back! Right now, you pay what I pay. You pay what we pay. It's amazing. And guess what? You don't have to do any work.
Right now, you pay what I pay.
They get our discount?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We got over 100 F-150s. We got over 50 Super Duties. We got Escapes, Bronco Sports, over 300 new vehicles to choose from. We got it all. Don't miss the employee pricing at Capital Ford Lincoln.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer time. I want to throw one out to the umpires and video replay in the Blue Jays Rays game yesterday. Fan reached over, home run taken away. They went and looked at it. They decided, you know what, it was a home run. So good that we have that now. Controversy, for the most part, put to rest in that one. You want to bring up something that we think is kind of Clutch Performer-ish.
Yeah. Now I'm having to find it. I had it ready.
Derek Henry.
Yeah. So Derek Henry, most people know, pretty good running back.
Force.
Yeah, right? So I saw this the other day, and basically, he's in his 10th season in the NFL? I think it is.
At least, yep.
Yeah, he's in his 10th season. At the start of this year, he was still 500 yards short of his high school rushing yards total.
Wow.
So I'm trying to find the exact numbers, but I think it was he's at about 12,000 yards in his career, not including this season. And in his high school career, he rushed for 12,500 or so yards in 4 seasons. With like 300 less attempts. Like, yeah, here we go. 12,124 yards in high school. Over 4 years.
12,000.
In his senior year, 4,261 yards on 462 attempts, a 9.22 average, averaging 327.8 yards a game.
That's hard to believe. And he did probably playing against pretty good players as well.
Oh, yeah. Like, so, yeah, he's gonna surpass that this year, but it's taken him twice as long as it did in high school. So
that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Derrick Henry's just a beast. And again, I heard stories when Coach Saban talking on college football, they were the only ones that were recruiting him to be a running back. Everyone else wanted to stick him somewhere else, and they're like, no, you can come here, run the ball, do what you want.
Unreal. Clutch Performers brought to you by Nick's Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line here, we are getting some texts for those live tickets. And today, the front runner for favorite live song is Lightning Crashes, no doubt about it. They're coming March 1st. Big Wreck, Econoline Crush, well before Colson's time.
Just a bit.
If you listen, you should do that this weekend. Throw the album, Throwing Copper on, and listen to it. It's not heavy. It's right in the middle there. It's that really good mid-90s rock. But they're coming to SaskTel Center March 1st. We're giving away 2 pairs of tickets. You just got to text in 936-6262 for the remainder of the show. Let us know what your favorite song is. What your favorite live song is. Like Chris, Jason, Bob, Sherry all went Lightning Crashes. Chad, Lightning Crashes as well. So, and then...
Your name is important. I need your name to put you in the draw. So
you need name.
Include
Yeah.
that.
We're getting a couple messages, and here's one from Kim. Great tickets up for grabs. Love Big Wreck. But the greatest Saskatchewan athlete, because that's on sportscage.com, Gordie Howe, hands down. But my heart would vote for Sandra Schmerler. He says Wendell Clark and Terry Pohl would be honorable mentions. Wendell Clark, maybe a bit. I think there was a couple other honorable mentions that we heard that we're thinking of that, but you can vote at sportscage.com for that if you want to vote on Saskatchewan's, I guess, favorite athlete ever. Katrina LeMay-Doan. It's kind of one that I forgot about how decorated she was. Ruben Mays is on there, going back to our high school football chat last week. Speaking of high school football, should we go to it? A little Friday night lights. Let's look at some
high school football.
You want to go to that?
Yeah.
Or you want to go to break? Your call.
No, high school football.
Okay.
I had the wrong one ready.
Let's go high school football. Welcome back to the Sports Cage, the home of local sports in Saskatchewan. And that music right there means Friday Night Lights, our weekly look at the high school football circuit around Saskatchewan. It's brought to you by Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain. Warren is always on Saskatchewan's side. All right, let's start what's coming up 9-a-side this week. Conference number 2, Friday. We got the 1-0 Lumsden Devils up against the Shaunavon Shadows, who are also 1-0. We have Moose Jaw Vanier yet to play a game at home against Fort Capel. Conference 3, 1-0 Melville hosting Broadview, who's 0-1. Friday, Foam Lake making the trek into Yorkton Sacred Heart. Foam Lake is 2-0. Sacred Heart is winless at 0-2. That's your 9-a-side rundown. 12-a-side. Again, thanks to everyone who's been messaging in. Hi at sportscage.com, letting us know. 12-a-side, South on Friday. Balgony 1-1. They're going to travel into Moose Jaw to take on the 1-1 Peacock squad. 3-0. Moose Jaw Central tops in the division right now, taking on 2-1 Yorkton Regional. That'll be a good one. And Weyburn, who's 1-2, down the road to Estevan to take on the 0-2 home squad. Over to 6-a-side, 1A, conference number 3, Thursday, tomorrow. We got Hanley. They're leading at 2-0 up against the 0-1 Central Butte squad. Friday in 1A, a 6-a-side conference 3, LBCI 0-1, hosting the Gull Lake Lions, who are 1-1. Conference number 4 on Thursday, 2-0 Carrot River. A little bit of a wagon. They're traveling into Viscount to take on them. They're 0-1. Friday, 0-3 Highway 22. That's the Cupar Southie squad. They are home to St. Brew. That'll be a good time nonetheless. There, St. Brew is 0-1. 2A, 6-a-side. We got Ituna taking on Lanigan. Friday, we got Priestville hosting Wynyard. They're both 1-0. That'll be a good one there. Thursday, we got 1-0 Clavette. They're always solid, hosting Davidson, who's winless on the year. Friday, we got Watrous traveling in to Assiniboia. That's a jaunt. 2-0 is Watrous. 0-2 Maple Creek going to make the trek into unity. One team, six-a-side, who has been blowing the doors off team is Lemberg. So they played yesterday. I had a chance earlier today to catch up with head coach of the Lemberg squad, Bob Mayo. And Bob, thanks for making some time today, because I know you guys played the unique Tuesday game yesterday.
Yeah, we have a awkward schedule where we need to get a few games in on Tuesdays so we can get enough games in for the season. So yeah, we played last night against Saudi.
You look at the scores and what's going on, and high school football, it happens sometimes where a team is just a little bit better than a lot of the competition. So far out of the gate, you got to be happy. You guys are putting up a lot of points in the competition.
Yeah, we have a pretty experienced team. I think I have 7 or 8 grade 12s, and our young kids come through our junior program, so they're all experienced, all able to play. So, yeah, we have a pretty solid team, and sometimes those scores get out of hand, but when we put in our young kids, they're still able to perform. So, yeah, sometimes it gets messy.
What are some names? Who are the leaders on this team that we can give a shout out to?
We have our 2 main grade 12s are Matthew Engel and Josh Mayo. And then we have 2 really great grade 11s named Jackson Geisler and Caleb Burns.
Right on. Lemberg and the school there, I'm not super familiar, but how far would you guys draw from? The furthest kid is coming from how far away?
We have 3 main communities, so Lemberg, Neudorf, and Abernathy. So Neudorf and Aber are about 15 kilometers east and west of us. And then we have kids maybe 10 kilometers west of Abernathy. So you're looking at 30, 40K range.
Right on. All right. And then, for the rest of the season, I guess keep plugging along. But is it, as a coach, how difficult is it, or what's the strategy to kind of keep them focused and aiming for maybe a provincial championship?
Well, that's the focus. We actually had an exhibition game with Hafford at the start of the year, who hasn't lost in like 7 or 8 years. So we know what the bar is. The hope is we can get into provincials and make the finals. We lost in the semis last year, and we lost in the finals the 2 years before that. So it's not hard to keep the kids motivated. They know what it takes. And, yeah, that's the goal, and hopefully we don't get injuries and we can get there.
What was the score with Hafford?
We lost to them 48-14.
Oh.
But with Hafford, they kept their starters in. They're a very good team this year. They returned almost everyone. So we know they're the bar, and especially 1A 6-man. So
right on.
We're hoping to see them again in the final.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Bob, continued success out there. It's awesome, to hear from 6-a-side, 9-a-side, and just, rural football. So keep it going out there, and best of luck the rest of the year.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And that game yesterday, Lemberg dumping the Southie QPAR squad 75-6. So watch out for Lemberg. Everyone in that area, you're probably excited for the squad this year, see what kind of run they can make. But like he says, you go up against a Hafford, maybe that's the bar, right, in 6-a-side. So much fun around the province. Some games in Regina coming up. We got tomorrow, Balfour Tom, Campbell, Winston Knoll. That's on Friday. We got O'Neill and Riffle Miller taking on Leboldus, and Johnson against Sheldon Williams. We'll recap things on Monday for you there on the Regina side. Again, let us know. Hi, H-I, at sportscage.com. We'd love to hear maybe if you got a fundraiser coming up, a big rivalry game. Let us know. We're all about it. We're all about the local sports here. We're never bigger than where we grew up and where we played as well. It's brought to you Friday Night Lights by Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain. Always on Saskatchewan side. Thanks to Warren for his sponsorship of the local sports program here. We are the home of local sports in Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM, or if you're watching on the stream through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Your town, your team, your time. The Regina Pats home opener is on September 26th at 7 p.m. against the Prince Albert Raiders. Join us early for an exclusive tailgate party for ticket holders with food, entertainment, and fun for the whole family. It's time to show your true colors, because blue runs deep and the brigade won't be complete without you there.
Go, Pats, go!
Secure your seats at reginapats.com.
Fall is here, the air is crisp, and it's time to cozy up with your favorite comfort foods. At Sask Milk, they know the best recipes start with fresh local dairy, creamy butternut squash soup, cheesy baked pasta, and rich pumpkin spice lattes. Support your local Saskatchewan dairy farmers. Visit saskmilk.ca for delicious fall recipes and look for 100% Canadian dairy and the Little Blue Cow at your favorite grocery store.
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until September 30th. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen.
Hey, you down there. Yeah, it's me, the sun. Been up here doing my thing for, 4.6 billion years or so, and you're still paying full price for power? Come on. Get a Councillor residential system. Use me to power your AC, your fridge, your whatever that thing is in your garage. Help me help you. What movie's that from? Anyway, when you've got extra power, Sask Power gives you credits. Jerry Maguire, that's what that line's from.
Get a quote at kelnsolar.com.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at sasktoday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at sasktoday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Don't miss a minute of Sportscage. Podcasts are posted at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
That is right, and good to remember. If you miss anything, go back and listen to it in podcast form. Although a lot of people do that. Yesterday, that high school football conversation that we had, I got people texting my private phone 10 o'clock at night, giving me names. Little late. Can't put them in anymore, but podcasts. Hey, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can go to YouTube and listen to it as well all the time. Like I said, live tickets up for grabs, 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Live is coming with Big Rec and Econoline Crush. We had a couple of messages here, Big Rec fans and then a couple of Econoline Crush fans. Not judging. I'm a big live fan. Let's talk more Western Hockey League here, and I think this guy might be a fan of live as well. From joining me from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Mr. Swift Current. He's city council, former color commentator for the Broncos, worked for the Broncos, radio in the city for years. I had a chance to work with him as well. A lot of fun. Swïtzer, thanks so much for joining.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, man. Yeah, we've been friends for a long time. Like, you're one of the longest running friendships I had, and it's great to catch up with you, man. The show's sounding good, and I'll tell you what, I was fired up to hear about the football juggernaut out of Lemberg. Like, Lemberg, that's where it all began. Like, that's the family heritage for me. That's where my mom's from. So, great to hear that Lemberg's making things happen. I got a couple of second cousins. I think they're going to be good O linemen down the road. So that's huge.
They're outscoring teams by like 70 points as they go on here. But we heard from when talking to their head coach, and you heard it as well, is the measuring stick seems to be Hafford up around there.
Yeah.
A lot of big Ukrainian boys around Hafford.
Well, Lemberg's pulling from the Tri-Cities. You got Lemberg, Abernathy, and Neudorf, and they're farm boys strong out there. So never count out Lemberg, brother.
I gotta ask you about live, like throwing copper. Did you have the CD? Did you burn the CD? Did you go CD to tape?
Lightning crashes, a new mother cries. That's all I got.
Yeah,
that's all I got. Back in the day, you listen to it. You're driving around. That was the thing to do in Swift Current. You drive up and down Central Avenue North, listening to the same songs over and over again on a mixtape. I'm dating myself by dropping the term mixtape. And there were a few live jams back in the day, but years later, a few lyrics from Lightning Crashes are there. But don't play Name That Tune with any other live songs with me right now. Needs a little bit of research, but you know what? It'd be a heck of a concert, and it'd be a great night out. Like I remember they had some bangers. Just Lightning Crashes is the only one that's maintained the years.
Selling the drama, I Alone, All Over You. It was awesome. Okay, let's talk some hockey here. So it's the Swift Current Broncos. What out of the gate? What are people expecting? What are you expecting with the Broncos this season?
Expectations aren't real high in Swift this year. It was a busy off season for general manager Chad Leslie, who moved a lot of veteran players to recoup some draft assets. So expectations are low this year in Swift Current coming into it. Sometimes people are hesitant to use the word rebuild. This is a team that's going to battle for a playoff spot in that Eastern Conference. And, they have some good young players. If you can't sell winning, you can sell hope. And there's no shortage of hope in Swift Current right now. But yeah, it's going to be a season where, I think this team is capable of surprising some. They got a veteran goaltender in Joey Rocha who can steal a game here and there, but expectations aren't real high for 25-26 in Swift.
I think there was when we worked in radio in Swift Current, there was a mayor that ran on you can't sell winning, you can sell hope. I think somebody ran on their platform with that. But I noticed the one thing though, and it's like the Pats are doing here. We had Dale Derkatch on in hour one. There's local content. And kids from the area and from the city of Swift Current playing on the team.
And it's nice too, because, they're not just there to, in hopes of selling season tickets to moms, dad, aunts, and uncles. Like there's kids who belong there. The Swift Current Broncos recently acquiring Hudson Darby from the Portland Winterhawks, a 19-year-old forward who's been a great Western Hockey League player. And, from what I understand, they didn't bring him in because he was local. They brought him in because he fit a need. So, he's a local player who can go. Parker Rondeau entering his second full season in the Western Hockey League, another graduate of the Swift Current minor hockey system. Anthony Wilson is a WHL journeyman who's bounced around the league, and in the offseason he found his way to Swift, and he's a 20-year-old who's looking to compete for a spot on the team. Real good two-way player, good veteran there. Bernie Weston is an athletic goalie who's looking to crack the opening day roster. A bit of a crowded crease in Swift Current right now, and we'll see if Burn Dog can get in there. But a lot of people really, really excited about 16-year-old forward Carter Moen. His father Travis also joined the team as an assistant coach this year, and many people remember Travis Moen as part of that Stanley Cup winning team in Anaheim in the late 2000s. And Moen was a standout in Swift Current minor hockey. He was really, really good with our 18U Legionnaires program here in Swift. And, when you talk about selling hope, a lot of expectations on Carter Moen leading a young Swift Current Bronco hockey team here.
That kid's a player. I've had a chance to watch him as he moves up. Definitely, great for Swift Current to have him there. The community there, Swïtzer, they've been through this before, and like you said, we're not going to go rebuild. They're going to battle for a playoff spot. Community there over the year, can they be patient with this crew?
Well, I think they can be patient because there's light at the end of the tunnel. You'll recall the Swift Current Broncos when they won that league championship in 2018. They had to go all in to win that. And there were some very, very lean years that followed that and some pretty empty cupboards when it came to draft assets. It's not a situation that they're in now. I think in Swift Current, they have 4 first-round picks in the next 3 years to play with. So there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. And, a big move that the Bronco organization made in the offseason was bringing in a new head coach and Dean De Silva, who was part of the Everett Silvertips program. And that's just, it's an elite program that seemingly, is never rebuilding, just reloading, to quote the great Fred Farnsworth there. But
Go Lake Lions!
Reference.
Yeah.
While we're talking high school football, right? But anyway, inside joke. But anyway, he's coming over from Everett, which is an excellent program and a very systems driven and disciplined program. And we're hoping that comes here. And the Swift Current Broncos, there's a bright future there. Maybe a little bit light on skill this year, but we're hoping to have a hardworking team that we can watch with a capable 20-year-old goaltender that will make life tough for other teams. So it's not quite the dire situation heading into 2018-19 after they had to mortgage so much of the future to win that championship. Yeah. And I think fans are willing to be patient for a season or two here, which when you look at where things are at and where the draft cupboards are, then hopefully we're back to winning ways before too long, Barney.
And we talked about it yesterday. We talked to Nick Nielsen from Prince Albert. And Harry was on with me. It's like Swift Current and Prince Albert are the two rinks when I think WHL playoff hockey just being packed, right? Like that's what it's all about. There's some beautiful new barns out there, don't get me wrong, but I love it, and had a chance, fortunately, to be in Swift a lot when that rink was rocking. What about the NCAA CHL thing? What are you hearing around the Bronco organization, maybe in the city, the junior hockey pundits that are going for coffee every day? And then did the Broncos have, I guess, more of that American flavor coming up for skates in camp like a lot of the dub teams did?
Well, they have a dynamic young man out of Dubuque, Iowa by the name of Brock Birch, 16-year-old forward, and he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And, when you talk about, hope for the future, he's a big part of it. He's a smallish guy on skates, under 6 feet, but he plays like a pit bull. He's not afraid to mix things up after the play, and he's going to be a really, really exciting player to watch in the future. So yeah, the NCAA thing, there's a lot of wait and see with this, Barney. For what we're seeing in Swift Current, it giveth and it taketh away, so to speak. It would have been nice to see Clark Caswell in a Swift Current Broncos jersey this year, but he departed for a U.S. college. But having said that, Swift Current over the years has had its challenges with recruiting on prospect draft day, and now there's a lot more freedom to get the player that they want versus the player that is going to report here. So we're getting better younger players here, and once they get here, we just want to make sure that they know that this is a great program where they can develop and become the best version of themselves and hopefully move on to a pro career from there.
I know you talk to a lot of people in the community or out in the community. Of course, what's the word on the Riders there? Are people buzzing over the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Southwest and Swifty?
You know what? More so than they have been in recent years. Rider pride has always been alive and well in Southwest Saskatchewan. I've been lucky enough to go take in a few games this year at Mosaic, and you can always tell by how many familiar faces you see as you're driving up the number 1 highway and passing people, and how many Swift Current people you run into at Caronport when you're grabbing a sub and some pastries. But right now we're also in the middle of harvest season, so that's kind of an all-encompassing thing in Southwest Saskatchewan. But holy cow, this is a rare season in Riderville, and if the green and white can keep on rolling like they have been, it's going to be an exciting time to be a Rider fan, and you'll certainly be seeing the green jerseys everywhere on Rider game day before too long.
Right on. Well, looking good, Swïtzer. Love the salad, and it looks like you looks like you've been lifting. You're looking jacked as well.
Well, you know what? It's
it's a process.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're not getting any younger, man. We got to make sure that everything keeps moving. And it's at the age I'm at, I'm still capable of growing hair. So I might let her buck a little bit.
All right,
we'll see. But thank you. You're looking as good as ever. Kind of. Am I talking to Enrique Iglesias or Barney Shinkaruk? I'm never quite sure, but you're looking dynamite, bro.
Okay. Cruise up and down Central, listen to a little live tonight, and then when I'm in town with the kids for hockey, we'll have a pint at Smitty's again, like always.
And some bulgogi from Wong's Kitchen, brother. I'll make a reservation and we'll be good to go.
Right on, Swïtzer. Thanks so much, bud.
Cheers, amigo.
Ryan Swïtzer from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Yeah, he's got his finger on the pulse there. Yeah, so Broncos push for a playoff spot this year. It'll be good. We're up against the clock here, coming back with a little ticker. We are giving away live tickets. Keep those text messages coming. It is the Sports Cage, the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Sometimes there's a song you just gotta hear. And every Sunday morning from 10 till noon, we give you the chance to play your favorites with the Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program. 2 hours set aside to play what you want.
Hey, Cindy, what can I play for you today?
Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis.
Good morning, Ray. Could you play Coal Miner's Daughter for me?
I wonder if I could request Eagle When She Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program with Ray Allen from country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM.
George, we've been putting this off too long. We're not getting any younger, and the kids need to know the plan.
I know. It's just so complicated. We've talked to a couple of accountants, lawyers, a neighbor, even the bank sends someone out to see us. Everyone's got a different answer.
If we don't do it right, it could stir up trouble in the family, and taxes could be a nightmare.
We should find someone independent. No products, no agenda. Just written advice and a clear process.
Someone who can work with what we have, talks to the kids, farming or not, and pulls all the advice together.
A kind of technical interpreter for the family, keeping us on the same page and helping when things get tricky.
Then let's spend an hour to understand their process and pricing. What's their number?
Succession planning starts with the right process, the right people, the right plan. Don't leave it to chance. Visit myfarmplan.ca or call 306-559-0342.
It's the Scratch and Save event on now at Ashdown's Furniture in Moose Jaw. Scratch up to 40% off from now until September 30th. At the time of purchase, scratch and save to reveal your savings from 10% to 40% off. Woohoo! Sale applies to in-stock and special order home furnishings. Brands like Decorest, Palliser, Lazy Boy, Elran, Mako, Kingstown, Minus, and so much more. Now is the time to scratch and save. Woohoo! At Ashdown's Furniture, 38 High Street West, downtown Moose Jaw.
Employee pricing has been extended at Capital GMC.
Capital GMC!
What does it all mean?
You pay what we pay.
For limited time, get employee pricing on any new GM vehicle in stock. This special offer is exclusively available at Capital GMC. Or check out our certified pre-owned inventory. They all come with 30-day exchange privilege, manufacturer's warranty, and more. Don't miss your last chance at employee pricing. Now available on any new vehicle. Only at Capital GMC.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Ugh, what do I want for supper? There's a bag of baby carrots, a slice of cheese that looks haunted.
Step away from the sad cheese, Dave.
What, the fridge? Since when do you talk?
Since you've been standing here for 10 minutes whispering pizza or cereal like it's a hostage negotiation. I'll make this simple. Order Western Pizza. You are welcome.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SJHL authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SJHL rate plan.
Take in the Gift of Giving Gala this Saturday, September 20th at the Viterra International Trade Center in Regina. Great food, entertainment, and the chance to support mental health initiatives for children and youth. Full details at thegiftofgivinggala.ca. Support the Regina Youth Flag Football League by watching some of their exciting action this fall. 1,700 kids taking part with all games at the rugby fields. The last weekend of games is September 27th and 28th. ReginaYouthFlagFootball.com. And celebrate Indigenous hockey legends Tuesday, September 30th at the Connexus Arts Center. A delicious dinner followed by hot stove sessions featuring 7-time Stanley Cup winner Brian Trottier, Dave Tiger Williams, Jordan Tutu, and more. Tickets at HockeyScoutsFoundation.com.
For more information, visit 620CKRM.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Saskatchewan Roughriders signing another punter, global punter, Jesse Marco today, 6 foot, 225, native of, Australia. It was the second round pick in the 2025 global draft. He played for Vanderbilt collegiately. Canadian offensive lineman Kyle Hergel worked out with the Minnesota Vikings Tuesday, according to 3 Down Nation reporter John Hodge. The workout went well, but Hagel is not expected to sign with the team immediately. Major League Baseball, Game 3 of 4 games for the Jays in Tampa. They won the first 2. 6 is the magic number in the AL East. They set 5 up on the Yankees. And our Sportscage.com poll today, it's hot. Going after it. You can go on to Sportscage.com and check it out. Who is the greatest Saskatchewan athlete of all time? I know some of you have been texting in. We missed a few, but the ones that are there, Gordie Howe, Katrina LeMay-Doan, Haley Wickenheiser, Sandra Schmerler, Ruben Mays. Sportscage.com. Hour 3 of the Sports Cage coming up. Mike McCullough, former rider, great, 2-time Grey Cup champion. We'll start it. We'll have some SJHL hockey and junior football. That is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM, and also streaming on Sportscage.com.
Proudly broadcasting from Treaty 4 territory, the homeland of the Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, Saulteaux, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Saskatchewan NDP is demanding action on crime after a string of violent incidents, including an armed robbery in Regina, where children as young as 12 were accused. The robbery happened on Sunday morning in the 4100 block of 5th Avenue, with suspects allegedly using a handgun and a knife. NDP Justice critic Nicole Sauer said Saskatchewan's crime rate is double the national average.
Well, how did we get here? You know, Sask Party government have been in power for over 17 years. It's clear that what they're doing isn't working. We need a government that is both tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime.
She urged investments in youth supports, more affordable housing, cost of living relief, and justice reforms to improve community safety. Advocates are urging Regina to fast-track its lead pipe removal program. Get the Lead Out's Patricia Elliott said the city should see lead as an urgent risk. Regina plans to replace about 3,600 lead service connections by 2036, but has finished only 33% of that. Recent testing showed nearly 80 homes over Health Canada's acceptable lead level. Elliott warned children are most at risk. City Council will consider further steps and a yearly program report next week. Broadview Moosomin RCMP say a 26-year-old man from Moosomin died after a single vehicle rollover on Highway 1 near Wapella. Police, fire, and EMS responded to the call at around 9:30 yesterday morning. The man, the vehicle's only occupant, was declared dead at the scene. His family has been notified. RCMP continued to investigate with help from a collision reconstructionist. The Bank of Canada cut its benchmark interest rate today as the central bank worries less about inflation risks and more about a slowing economy. The central bank lowered its key policy rate by 0.25 percentage point to 2.5%. Governor Tiff Macklem says tariffs are dampening U.S. demand.
Tariffs are having a profound effect on several key sectors, including auto, steel, and aluminum industries. Chinese tariffs on canola, pork, and seafood, new U.S. tariffs on copper, and higher U.S. tariffs on softwood lumber will spread the direct impacts further.
With the Bank of Canada's decision to cut its key interest rate, Canada's big banks are expected to reduce their prime lending rates. And the Utah man charged with killing American conservative activist Charlie Kirk was afraid of being shot by police and agreed to surrender as long as it was done peacefully. Sheriff Nate Brooksby says 22-year-old Tyler Robinson appeared quiet and somber when he turned himself in with his parents last Thursday at the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Part of the negotiation and getting him to bring himself in was that we would treat it as delicate and as soft as possible to make him feel comfortable to where he would show up at my office, and that's exactly what happened.
On Tuesday, prosecutors charged Robinson with capital murder and announced that they will be seeking the death penalty. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and Max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle, echosound.ca.
Saskatchewan's own Hunter Brothers are bringing the Homegrown Nights Tour to the Connexus Arts Center Thursday, November 27th.
Those were the nights.
5-time CCMA nominees. Born and raised in Shaunavon, these brothers know how to light up a stage. And they're bringing special guest Shantea to crank it up even higher. Tickets go on sale Friday, September 19th at 10 a.m. Hunter Brothers Homegrown Nights Tour, November 27th. Get your tickets at connexusartcenter.ca. See you at the center.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCullough Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
We'll be in and out of cloud cover through the night. A couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms early on. Most of the chance of precipitation overnight, though, is limited to drizzle. That's what we're left with late night, early morning tomorrow. Light wind, too. Areas of fog possible. Temperature down to around 12 overnight and 18 on Thursday. A very gray start to the day. Any drizzle dries up early. Cloud breaks to partial sunshine through the afternoon. Cloudiness is still in and out, though, for Thursday night. A mostly cloudy sky on the average with a low of 11. And Friday, we'll clear that cloud cover out more quickly. Late day, a few isolated showers and thunderstorms become possible. Temperatures still in the upper teens. But there is some warmer air getting ready to move itself back in. This large ridge building across the center of the country brings temperatures back into the mid-20s under a mainly sunny sky for Saturday. May start gray, but turns mostly sunny, 24, and mostly sunny on Sunday with a high of 26. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X, make your truck complete. 1865 McCullough Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
We're back. Hour 3. One more hour to go. What we got on tap for you. Rider great Mike McCullough going to be joining us here in moments. Talk a little CFL football, the Riders. Back in Mike's day, I want to know where they went on bye week. What did they do on bye week? They would have been hitting too. Also, SJHL's firing this Friday. League starting up. We'll talk to Benny Walchuk out in Melville, Yorkton area about the SJHL. He knows all. Wondering who the dark horse is this year in the SJ. Junior football report as well. And if you missed it in hour 1, Dale Derkatch, general manager of the Regina Pats. Good chat with him as we get prepped for the WHL season. We talked Pats, we talked Broncos. I think tomorrow Maz has James Gallo. So we'll talk Moose Jaw Warriors. And then Friday he's got Les Lazaruk to talk Saskatoon Blades. We are the home of local sports here. And thanks to the people messaging the Prairieland Rentals text line, 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. Like in the high school football report, Friday Night Lights. We ran that in hour 2. If you missed it, we talked to the head coach of the Lemberg squad, who are definite wagon town out there. They've been beating teams by 60, 70 points. So you can go back and listen to anything you miss in podcast form, whether it's through YouTube or just how you regularly listen to podcasts, you can do that as well. We appreciate all the comments that you send in, 936-6262. Colson does a good job of screening them, so I don't hear a lot of the bad ones, which is great. We talked about this in hour 2 as well. CFL schedule this week. Montreal and Toronto. Had to scratch the old noggin when I saw Montreal minus 6.5, 6-7 in Toronto. And I was like, why? I'm like, yeah, they beat the Riders last week. But then I'm forgetting Nick Arbuckle's out for the Argos. Calgary Stampeders at home against BC. What are we expecting from the BC Lions? That is a team, the old Seinfeld episode, two-faced. Depends on the lighting, almost. What are we getting from the BC Lions? Can BC go into beautiful McMahon Stadium and knock off the Stamps at minus 5.5? I'm getting all my odds from Sports Select, are the only legal betting sites in the country. And then Ottawa, 2.5, minus 2.5 to Winnipeg. Do you have that Strevler clip, Coulson? Are things that bad in Winnipeg? Ottawa, I know Ottawa still, and they still have a chance for the playoffs. We talked to Arash, talked to Glenn yesterday. Everybody, no one's booking flights for late October, November at this point. We could be playing tackle football. Minus 2.5 for Ottawa against Winnipeg. And it sounds like Chris Strevler is going to sling it for Winnipeg. But like I said, what about Terry Wilson? And it sounds like they are echoing that in the great city of Winnipeg.
People calling for Terry Wilson, that he should have ended the game or whatever. Does that put a chip on your shoulder, or do you just block out that noise from people?
I don't know who people in general are. I don't pay attention to that. I'm worried about doing my job. We put 2 good drives together at the end of the game. So whoever people are, that's their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. I'm going to focus on what I can do, coming in here, working my tail off every single day, and getting better.
I like that guy. If you're watching the stream, he looks like a dude. Looks like a guy go into the counter, and I got a rattle in the back and my struts, something rattling around there, and he'd go in there and look at it. Strevler and the Bombers, minus 2.5 underdogs in Ottawa. And then Hamilton, home to Edmonton. We got Edmonton out of the bye. They're a scary team. They're trying to stay alive. Hamilton is minus 5.5 there. Gotta like Hamilton in the hammer, don't we? Yeah, so CFL week, the 4 games, our Riders are on a bye. Like I said, I'm curious to talk to this guy and find out what he did in bye weeks. 2-time Grey Cup champ. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect night for Western Pizza and the perfect pizza. Generous amount of toppings, and if you don't want pizza, they got all the Greek food you like. Souvlaki, ribs, salad, just the goodness you can't make at home. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. There he is, former Saskatchewan Roughrider, 2-time Grey Cup champion, Mike McCullough. We haven't chatted in a bit, Mike. Really appreciate you taking some time today. Still, I told Maz, no text messages. Got to call Mike to get him on.
Nope, email or phone. That's how I roll.
I love it. I really appreciate that. We're in a bye week here, so I thought no better time to bring you on. Riders 10-3. Everyone's talking about this game against Montreal. When you watch the game, you see what happens against Montreal. Really good football team. Is it just one of those games where Montreal kind of maybe takes advantage of what they see in some injuries?
No, I even talked to some people before the game. I thought it was going to be one of those catch-me games. Just one of those games where they expect to crush them. Going into the bye week, you're already thinking of plans, flights, what you're doing, and you kind of get distracted, and it happens. So it was to be expected.
Do you remember a catch-me game, as you say, back in your days?
Yeah, I think it was the big thunderstorm rain game in 2007, I think is what it was. It was delayed. We had to go back into the tunnel or back in the locker room for, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And guys had flights that night. So guys were all on it. guys weren't even concerned about the game. They're like, I got to fly out in 2 hours, and if that's the case, I'm leaving. And if they got to reschedule the game, I won't be here. Like, guys were just pissed off because they came in and said, oh, if we don't get going in 10 minutes, we got to delay to tomorrow. And we had about 10, 15 guys like, I won't be here. I'm going home to see my family. So it was a bit of a scene. Luckily, we got started just in time. So those guys, as soon as we finished the game, they raced to the airport and got their flights for the bye week.
Wow, that is interesting. Bye week, and they're going through 3 this year. And AJ, we heard from him, a bunch of them are going somewhere up north, cabin, kind of getting away, staying in Sasky, bonding, a group thing. Did you guys do that back in your day?
Did we do it? We started it. So AJ, the new 45, can not take credit for it. The old 45 was part of organizing it. So, I think, our first one, I think it was like in 05 or something. And now GM Jeremy O'Day organized it. I think there's only about 6 or 7 of us. And, it's good to have a GM who understands the, how important camaraderie is, because, that 6 or 7 person, I think, fishing camping trip morphed into about, we used to have like 60 guys come out to Bon Echo and things like that. It was great. It was just guys look forward to that. Even the guys who aren't real fishermen or outdoors types, we'd be talking about for weeks leading up, and it was a big event because there was no wives, no girlfriends allowed. It was just the guys, and it was a great time to get to know each other.
Wow, the pioneer of it all. That's interesting.
I'll give credit to O'Day because he started, I think, I want to say 05, but we had a few years off, and then I kicked it back up going to Bon Echo, and I think the guys carried it forward for a number of years after I left.
That's great. The defensive line, what they've been doing on the defense side of the ball this year, maybe minus against Calgary in those 2 games where the word was out-physicaled. Is that what you saw?
Are you talking about just in the Montreal game or just
no? Going back to the Calgary games.
Oh! I mean, they're a good defense. I mean, they're athletic, so I mean, you're not going to have an amazing game every game, but majority of the games, these guys are top notch. They're playing well. They're a good unit, and even if the offense is struggling, which they haven't struggled a lot this year, but when they do, the defense usually picks them up pretty good. I mean, last game I'd say it was a write-off across the board just because of everything and missing the 2 corners and everything. But no, I think all around, I don't think there's much of an argument to say that the Riders are the most complete team in the league right now.
What do you make of the coaching staff too? We have the coaches show every Monday here, and even last year, it just seems like that is such a cohesive unit. They're all on the same page. They're not very far removed from playing. When you look at that coaching staff, does that remind you at all of any coaching staff that you had?
No, I mean, they're pretty young. I mean, I guess they're fairly young head coach. They're young fairly across the board, but we always seem to have a mixture, young, old. So we never really had a whole coaching staff that was, 60 or 65 and been in the league for 30 years. We also didn't have a staff that was, 3 years in the league. So we kind of had a nice mix. And these guys have a nice mix too. Whatever they're doing, it's working. So, I mean, when you're winning, any sort of blemishes are kind of, it's fine. We'll deal with that later. There's always going to be those blemishes, but it's just a matter of how you deal with them.
There was a lot of talk, and it's kind of subsided here the last couple of weeks. Thankfully, he had a child on Brett Lawther, and I'm sure you know Brett. He's been in the community. He's done a lot of community work, like you did when you were back playing. Did you feel for him and what he was going through?
Oh yeah, I know Brett a little bit. I like him; he's a good guy. But I also have an overall disdain for kickers in general. So, but I like Brett, and I know he's had a bit of a rough year, missing about a dozen kicks. It's a tough, as a kicker, because it's like, guys, come on, you got one job, just do it. But at the same time, everybody has down times, down years, and I'm rooting for Brett. He's just a really nice guy, good community guy, good for the city, good for the province. So hopefully he'll kind of right to some of the issues he's got going, and there won't be any more talk about Brett and bringing a new kicker and whatnot.
And then this league, when we're talking to Suter yesterday, and it happens year to year, but maybe where, we're sitting here middle of September and every team is still in the hunt to make the playoffs. It does, even Ottawa, you look at how bad and up and down it's been. Parity in the CFL, when you look at it, it's one of those things, like the players, they have to be on their toes. Coaches have to be on their toes because you never know what you're going to get week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually there's 1 or 2 teams running away with it, 1 or 2 teams that are kind of struggling to stay in the basement, and then the other 5 or 6 teams are in the middle ground. And that's kind of the same this year. The Riders are I wouldn't say far and away the best team, but I think they are the best team right now because you got Calgary. We just always seem to struggle with Calgary, especially in the regular season. I don't know why, but they're just kind of nipping at our heels still. And BC's coming on nicely. Even Edmonton's a tough out. So it's kind of typical for every year. There's always one or two on either end, and in the middle, 5 or 6 guys can do whatever. So no one's out right now, but I think in the next couple of weeks, obviously there'll be a couple of teams falling by the wayside for sure.
As a former player, is that home playoff game as important as everyone makes it out to be?
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like just having that and having your regular schedule and having the home crowd. And I think the home crowd is really the most important in the playoffs. It's when it's just playoff football is something different. It's a whole other animal. And it's just so exciting. And when people ask me if I miss the game, I don't miss playing, but I do miss playoff football. There's just something special about it when you get out there and you see your breath and it's just beautifully Canadian football. But having that home game, yes, and especially if you can get that bye week, free paycheck. Yeah, that's. I only had it once in my 11 years. It doesn't come around very often for the Rough Rider organization. When it does, man, you get that free paycheck. It's pretty sweet.
Mike, I know you're a busy guy. Thanks so much for taking some time, shedding some light on the Riders from your lens. Maybe we can catch up closer to those playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Grey Cup champion for our Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mike McCullough, the original 45, as he called it, joining us here on the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At Barassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed CNH parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at Barassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. Barassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
Cal, why are you ringing that dang cowbell?
Just reminiscing about back to school. When that cowbell would ring, we'd run to class from pasture.
You went to school?
Cow school. How do you think I learned how to talk?
Okay.
I was a straight F student, straight guy.
F is the worst. It means you failed.
Not in cow school. F is for feeding. I was top of my class and bottom of my stomachs.
Back to school is one of my favorite times of the year. Everyone's buying new jeans, new shirts, hats, and boots. Everything kids need for back to school and everything parents need to help them deal with it.
So what was school like for you?
Straight A's.
Oh, did you have a girlfriend?
I had one, but she lived out of town.
Did she know she was your girlfriend?
Not technically.
In town, out of town, for everything back to school, back to work, and back to routines. It's gotta be Cowtown. Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
I miss my My Little Pony lunchbox.
Mine was a small grain truck. Still is. Actually, can you go get that for me?
Hey, let's hit up Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Who?
Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
There's still time to get your fence built before winter, but the clock is ticking. Take advantage of the good weather now with down-to-earth fencing. Whether you want it done for you, want to do it yourself, or prefer the assisted DIY option where they set the posts and you finish the rest, they've got the perfect solution. Get the privacy, security, and curb appeal your yard deserves before the ground freezes. Canadian-made, tariff-free options available. Visit downtooearthfencing.com. Down to Earth Fencing, the most logical choice.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Signing out a Rider camp today, they got another punter in the fold, a third Australian. They signed Jesse Marco, 6'4", 220-pound native of Australia. He was the second-round pick in the 2025 CFL Global Draft. He played collegiately for Vanderbilt University. So, like I said earlier, he knows his way around Nashville. The schedule this week in the CFL, Montreal's in Toronto, Calgary at home against BC, Ottawa, home to Winnipeg and Chris Streveler, probably. Hamilton, home to Edmonton. Canadian offensive lineman Kyle Hergel worked out for the Minnesota Vikings on Tuesday. That's according to 3 Down Nation reporter John Hodge. The workout went well, but Hergel is not expected to sign with the team immediately. We got a little bit of a delay in Tampa as the Blue Jays are taking on the Rays at the spring training ballpark of the New York Yankees. Game 3 of a 4-game series. They won the first 2. 6 is the magic number in the AL East. The Jays are 5 up on the Yankees. And then Sportscage.com poll today. It's a good one. A lot of people going in on this one. Who is the greatest Saskatchewan-born athlete of all time? We don't have a list of 30 because I appreciate the people texting in wanting us to add athletes to it. We have Gordie Howe, Katrina LeMay Doan, Haley Wickenheiser, Sandra Schmerler, and Ruben Mays. You can vote at sportscage.com. Sports Ticker is brought to you by Steelcraft Doors, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. If you need a garage door, they have it. They now have a 40,000 square foot warehouse and showroom in Regina. We're going to talk some SJHL in a moment. That league, it's hockey season. Fires up here. It's football season and hockey season. If you missed the high school football report, we ran down what's going to happen there. 6 aside, 9 aside, 12 aside. We got it all. You can go back and listen to that in podcast form if you miss any of the guests as well. The Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50, riders5050.ca. This week's early bird prize until Thursday, the Oiler road trip. Package includes 2 tickets to an Oiler game, 1 night hotel, or you can just take $2,700 cash. And then winning on the Sports Cage, it's what we do here. Keep the text coming. We got about another 15 minutes to get in. 936-6262. We're giving away 2 tickets to the March 1st show, live with Big Rec and special guest Econoline Crush. It's March 1st, SaskTel Center up in Saskatoon. If you're a live fan like me, and you buy the CD, I remember taking the CD, and some of you out there know this. You took it CD to tape, and it had a tape deck in the car, so I played it there. Then Buddy across the street, when Buddy across the street got a CD burner, it didn't matter how long it took to burn CDs back in the day. Colson, you have no idea. I'm like talking like we went to the moon, but we burnt CDs. It took a while. And then you had Throwing Copper from Live on this burnt CD that you got from your buddy, and you didn't have to pay for it. It was a wild time.
I know about burning CDs. I never had to do one, but I know about it at least, okay?
I remember across the street from my house. Mike Roman was his name. He was like one of the first ones that I know had it, and it took so long. It was like you were making it from stone and clay and sculpting it, but it didn't matter because you got rid of the tape. But then you needed a CD player in your vehicle. Do you know CD players? Like, they used to have pullouts in a vehicle,
oh, yeah.
like yeah. CD player pullouts, and then the face plates would come off.
Yeah. Yeah, I've driven a handful of older vehicles, so I'm familiar with that. The best ones were when you had like multiple CDs that you could store in it, right? You weren't just limited to one
CD changer.
Yeah, when they started adding those to cars, yeah. I also did drive some vehicles that had cassette tapes in them.
Yeah,
didn't drive too many of those. That's still a decent bit before me, but
the CD changers in the back, that was next. When those came out too, that was next level. How many you got? 7 CDs in the back. You can just flip it from here. What kind of spaceship are we riding in? It was amazing. Yeah. There's a trip down memory lane. It's not all sports here on the Sports Cage. 3 hours. We're gonna talk life. We're gonna talk good stuff. So Big Rec live and Econoline Crush March 1st. If you want to text in 936-6262. We're going straight to SJ. Colson. All right. Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and talk to Benny Walchuk on the SJHL here. Now it's time to talk some SJHL hockey. It is getting fired up this weekend. Benny Walchuk, who calls games for about 13 different teams in 2 different provinces, is joining us. Was it a long summer for you, Benny? Are you fired to get back at it?
You know what? It's long enough. Like, it seems like June and July kind of go a little bit nice and slow, but when August hits and into September, everything just flies by. But once the weather gets a little bit cooler, you have a couple of those cool days, then the rinks start opening up around the communities. You start to get kind of fired up for junior hockey. So it was never long enough when you don't win a championship, but we'll see what happens here this year as the league begins this weekend.
All right, let's get to the pressing question. From your lens, who are the teams to beat this year in the SJHL? No, I think we got the power rankings coming out tomorrow at sportscage.com, but what can you tell us? Who are people talking about? Who are you seeing?
Well, right now, it's to be the best, you have to beat the best, and the best right now has been the Melfort Mustangs, of course, 2-time defending SJHL champions. So they're a team that they did lose lots of, but they still have a good crew of guys coming back. And you talk about championship experience and how vital it's vital. Some of these guys have won 2 championships. Some have been a part of last year's championship team. So that especially to start the season. And so I think they'll be strong. They have Matt running back between the pipes, but they have some forwards are still quite right. They've added some guys, but they have some guys that are going to have to take the next step here to chip offense that were gone from the Riley Cotais and so on and so forth. So they're a team to beat. Right, Broncos are going to be pretty good. I think Humboldt's got a very good blue line coming back. The forward unit once again strong as Flin Flon Bombers had a good preseason. We'll see if that translates into the regular season. And then you got Yorkton and Melville, I think, right now in that middle, so take that next step. It's definitely very intriguing to make these week 1 power rankings and get all the thoughts from other people around the SJHL. But now it's Melfort's kind of championship and a league to beat right now.
Who would be a dark horse if we're going to throw one dark horse out? Can I throw out a Nipawin?
Yeah, Nipawin for sure. They returned basically their whole squad came back. Their goaltender returning Gage Roberts. They're one, I think, is the Kindersley Clippers. I think Kindersley with the new head coach Kyle Schneider in there, and I think they built a new good nucleus with Clayton, who led WHL to the Red Deer Rebels as assistant. I think Kindersley and Nipawin are probably going to be your best surprises coming up this year.
Okay, let's some good news too. Nice to see your hometown, or your town, Melville, making some money. Over $143,000 on the positive side. Always nice to see. I guess the playoff series with Yorkton really helps there.
Yeah, exactly. It was great. So the community is just talking about that. I don't know. I knew I kind of got the numbers before it was announced at the AGM. So that's everybody was pretty excited to reveal those numbers when they're big profit. But they do a lot of work, led by former captain and now president Daniel Hope, who does a great job with their fundraising with his great volunteers and his board members. They have a Club 400 dance, which is a kind of a chance to win some money, and a cabaret. They have their crop project that they thank all the farmers and the producers for helping with that. They have a comedy night. They have a cash lotto that raises over $90,000 a year coming up in December and early January. So they put a lot of work in, but once again, you can put a lot of work in fundraising, but you have to also have success on the ice, and they've had that the last couple of years. Their playoff runs under Doug Johnson, who's brought a new rejuvenated millionaire squad to the ice the last 3 years that he's been here. So yeah, there's positives. I'm sure there has been some positives across the league as well, making some money. I know on the other side there has been some maybe not so positive things with some teams losing money, but I think with everything going on, people are going to get right back on the right track here, and I think the strength of the league right now is in pretty good shape.
What are you hearing out of Warman? With Notre Dame moving there, what can we expect from them? What are you hearing out of there? Obviously, probably pretty good community support.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's rumors of a sellout for their home opener, which is outstanding. And that we talked about it. Mormon's what the fastest growing city in Saskatchewan or Western Canada, and they've been kind of dying for their own kind of team to happen here. I know they had a AAA team, but they get a junior team that they can call their own, and like Notre Dame roster. Notre Dame wasn't as good last year, but I think they've made some strides. They've added some pieces. They've got some guys back. Vinny Palmerine came back from the BCHL, so he's back in there. I know they had Dace Derkatch before he got traded back to Regina, to the Pats, to his dad's team. But I think it's a team that's going to be a little bit better than people expect. I think that goaltending is going to be crucial for them, but it's just going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to head back to Ormond to call games. It's going to be exciting to get that new fan base, and we'll see what happens. So, but I think the Mormon team is going to be much more improved than people think.
We'll chat about this more as we start the SJHL reports next week. But what can you tell me about the Viking Cup that's happening?
Yeah, the Viking Cup is an event that happened. I think it ended in 2006, but it happened for about 20 years, and it was kind of a battle between the Camrose, Alberta hosted it, and it was a battle between the Augustana Vikings. Of course, they're part of the ACAC, and they played U18 teams from across the world, from Sweden to Finland to Slovakia. And you see some names that competed in this event. You have Joe Pavelski, you have Dominic Hasek, you have my favorite player growing up in Zygmunt Palffy, you have Sergei Gonchar. So these are very notable names that played in this event, and now they're kind of rebirthing it in Camrose coming up at the end of December, early January, and it's going to be kind of like ACAC teams are going to be playing, and also the SJHL is going to be part of it. But they're going to take their top 20-year-olds to the event to take part in the event from December I think it's December 28th to January 5th, I believe it is. So it's an event coming up during the Christmas break that has a chance for these 20-year-olds to showcase themselves from some ACAC schools, some USports schools. I'm sure there'll be some NHL scouts as well, and pro scouts too. So it's an event that's, once again, a good showcase for players. I know the young guys always get showcased maybe more in the SJHL, these younger leagues, but it's a chance now for these 20-year-olds also to get showcased on it could be a world stage, which is great.
That sounds like a great idea to bring it back. I remember hearing about it too back in the 90s and the early 2000s. All right, if there's one game to circle on the calendar out of the gate on Friday, is it maybe in Warman?
Yeah, it could be. It definitely is in Ormond. It's a brand new building there. Humboldt's coming into town to take on the Wolverines, so that's an exciting game. You look at Yorkton Weyburn, two Viterra division rivals doing pace. And Weyburn, once again, the finalists last year as well. And I think that Nippo and Melfort game, like we talked about Nippo and being maybe a team to take that step further. So once again, we talk about the Northern Lights Palace, and they got a brand new score clock there. So they did some upgrades here over the offseason. So the Palace is going to break in that score clock with a big showdown there against Nippo and Hawks on Friday.
The house that Blevins built. I love it. I just ran into him at the Junior Lobstick too. He was busy. He was busy on the phone, making moves, doing his thing. Benny, looking forward to the year again and chatting once a week. Travel safe coming up this weekend, and have a good call.
Appreciate it. Barney, Colson, thanks a lot.
Right on. It is coming up next week, the start of the SJHL report. We're going to be all over it because we are the home of local sports right here, the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Saskatchewan potash fuels more than just crops. It fuels communities and economies. As the world's largest potash producer and the province's largest private sector employer, Nutrien plays a vital role in economic growth, supporting thousands of jobs and investing in local businesses. Saskatchewan potash, it's more than a resource. It's growth and prosperity. It's the silent strength behind the harvest to farmers around the world. Nutrien, from mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At eBarassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed C&H parts, and 10% off when you spend over $10,000? You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at E. Barassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. E. Barassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
Fall is here and the water is fine. Water Vision Pool and Spas in Moose Jaw is your one-stop destination to relaxation. After a busy summer, the showroom is now fully restocked with hot tubs and accessories. And once harvest is over, it's time to relax in your brand new Hydro Pool hot tub from Water Vision in Moose Jaw. Get a good soak after a long day's work. Drop in today while the selection is at its best. The water is calling. Maybe you should answer. Water Vision Pool and Spas, High Street, Moose Jaw.
The team of experienced farmland real estate agents at Shepherd Realty in Regina have just listed for sale 2 quarters with a yard site near Kayville, 1 quarter of premium farmland near Gray, 1 quarter with a yard site near Lumsden, and 5 quarters of farmland near Pangman. To learn more, see the team at Shepherd Realty. If you're considering selling your farm or ranch property, call 352-1866. shepherdrealty.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. We got the junior football report still to come, and they're going to replay the interview with Regina Pats General Manager Dale Derkatch that we had in hour 1. You miss any of it, you can go back and listen to any of the show in podcast form. It was a busy one. Rob Vanstone was here in the first hour, and when Rob's in the studio, when you talk to Rob, he starts throwing out stories and stats. You just want to sit back and relax. I really recommend listening to the 100-yard dash story from a high school track and field meet. If you're going back, it was an all-timer. Thanks to Rob for coming in. Also in hour 2, we had Ryan Swïtzer. We talked about the Swift Current Broncos. What can we expect out of Speedy Creek? Mason Nyhus in hour 2. Assistant head coach with the U of S Huskies, Regina boy, set all sorts of records with the U of S. Now he's part of the coaching staff with Scott Flores. They get set to take on the 3-0 Regina Rams. That game's right here on 620 CKRM Friday night. What a game that is if you're going to that one. If not, CKRM 2 will have the game, as we'll have the Regina Pats on the regular channel. Mike McCullough here in hour 3, talking about the Riders, talking about the old days with the Riders, and of course Benny Walchuk we just heard. Don't forget, coming up September 30th in Regina at the Connexus Arts Center, in conjunction with the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. What an event for the Western Canada Professional Hockey Scouts Foundation. They're coming into town. Get some of these, and Harry said this yesterday, the penalty minutes for this group would be unbelievable. Some of the guys coming in to talk, the Hot Stove, DJ and Dwight King, John Nasty Marasti, Ron DeLorme, Jordan Tutu, Rich Pilon, Brian Trottier, Dave Tiger Williams, and just added Joey Teterenko. Tickets available, Western Canada Professional Hockey Scouts Foundation website. Single tickets, $150, nice meal at the Connexus, the hot stove, all that. Tables of 8, just $1,100. It's brought to you by Boucher, the title sponsor of that. Thanks to Boss Lubricants, the ticket sponsor as well. Again, September 30th, you can go online and buy tickets. Live coming March 1st to Saskatoon. Couple of minutes left to get into those tickets. 936-6262 on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. If you think you want to go, good response for those today as well. It is time. The Regina Thunder keep rolling this weekend as they have the rematch. They travel into Winnipeg for their game against the Rifles. Let's get into the junior football report.
This is the Sportscage Junior Football Report with Dave Thomas.
The Regina Thunder and Saskatoon Hilltops remain atop the Prairie Football Conference standings with 4-1 records after 5 weeks of the regular season. Saskatoon Hilltops scored a 51-3 win over the Calgary Colts back on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Regina Thunder topped Winnipeg 25-12 at Leibel Field. The Thunder were led offensively by running back Peter Borsch, who carried the ball 24 times for 181 yards. Defensively, Cooper Filizek was in on 15 tackles and made 2 interceptions. And on special teams, Carter Ashman set the tone with 5 punt returns for 105 yards, including a 62-yarder. Now, Ashman, who is taking kinesiology at the University of Regina, says that the importance of special teams may not always be visible.
Yeah, as a fan looking into the special teams, obviously, it's like very hard to see what was good and what was bad. It's like if you get yards, then it's good. If not, then everyone just assumed it was bad. So it's very hard to tell.
What was visible was his 62-yard return.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing blocking from everyone on the team. Everyone did great. Got to my place I needed to be and went for a pretty big gain.
Now, earlier this year, Saskatchewan Roughriders head coach Corey Mace was asked about what makes a good punt returner, and he jokingly said they have to have a screw loose. So, Carter Ashman, is that true?
Yeah, I mean, you're the only person back there. The ball gets kicked to you. You have to catch it, and then you have 12 other people coming in trying to hit you. So it's a pretty violent thing.
Ashman, who graduated from Miller High School in Regina, had an opportunity to experience national competition as a member of the U18 Team Sask team.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird because it's so professional, for being young. And it's a very good experience for anyone to do because it really helps get into the professional mindset early. I learned that sometimes you can doubt yourself, but that you can always when you can prove that you are worth being on the team by just trying as hard as you can.
In Week 6, the Thunder will head to Winnipeg on Sunday to take on the 2-3 Rifles in the back half of their home-and-home series. Ashman is looking forward to building on last week's win.
They're a great team, and we had a great plan going into the game, and the coaches really helped with that. But I don't know. They're just a great team.
In other Sunday action this week, the 4-1 Saskatoon Hilltops are at the 2-3 Edmonton Wildcats, while the 2-3 Calgary Colts host the 1-4 Edmonton Huskies. And that's the Junior Football Report. I'm Dave Thomas.
You want to stay in the loop without any hassle. Well, we've got the perfect solution for you. The Regina Today newsletter. Get the Regina Today newsletter delivered straight to your phone. No searching, no scrolling, just all the latest news, events, and contests when you want it. Text the word news to 306-936-6262 and get the inside scoop sent straight to your inbox. Regina Today from sasktoday.ca, bringing the city to your fingertips.